virus that walked into the room because I'm holding a book and they're all holding their phones.
And I actually I do people watching. I mean, I sit there sometimes too often, but I sit there and I just people watch whatever is going on, and that's what I'll see. Now, walking with phones, I've taken to where I won't play bumping cars. If I see you coming at me with a phone, I'm going to just stop right where I'm at. I don't care who's behind me, who's in front of me. You're walking at me with a phone, I have no control. And if you knock me down, right, I'm gonna hurt. Today we practice getting. It's a crazy thing. I had to practice getting up off the floor, and we're this close, really this close. And my wife was saying, well, maybe you need to get one of those two-handle walkers. I said, nope, we'll keep going to the PT until we get this. But today we were walking in the door, and it's really cute girls just walking out. I mean, we don't live in that immediate type of life, or we shouldn't.
No. I understand that has its place, but it's taking over people's lives. That's all they do.
Yeah.
That's their whole life. And it's like, I still see people texting and while they're driving and stuff. They know it's bad to do, but I'll get behind somebody and they're doing 10 miles an hour. And I can see them like this.
Yeah.
Holding their phone up, and I'm sitting behind them and everybody starts honking at them. And then they get mad at me because they think I'm the one that's honking when it's the people further back. And they flip me off like I'm the one that did something wrong.
Yeah. When you stop at a stoplight and the person in front of you, the light changes green and they sitting there, they're on their phone. There's nothing else.
Yeah, well,
their attention went from here to here.
If I see that and they're sitting there, I'll count to 5 and then honk my horn. Just give them that 5 little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, you're not paying attention, beep. And then they look at me and I can see them raise their hand in there and flip me off like, hey, we have lives too.
Yeah. Well, I live in New Orleans area. We don't blow horns down here because they shoot you. I mean, really. And there's constant problems with shootings on interstates for people blocking them off and all that. No. We stay right and a little bit below the speed limit, so there's less interference. Well, I can't drive anymore, but my wife has gotten very good at it because before she'd say, "Look at that," and go right for that horn button. And we were in the city for something, and that happened, and she tapped the horn, and the guy looked around like he was mad. And I said, no, don't do that again. I'll get it disconnected. Don't do it again. And I said, this is,
I live in California, so everybody honks their horns at everybody.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah. And my dad used to say, he said, blowing a horn is such an obnoxious thing that you should, if you get a car with a horn, it should have a gizmo that says you get 1 or 2 toots a month. After that, you have to pay for it. Yeah.
Yeah, put a dime in the slot.
I like that.
That's pretty funny.
If you pay for it, if you have to pay for it, you probably won't use it. They got some young folks across the road and down a little bit. 1 o'clock in the morning the other day, I heard domp, da domp, domp, da domp, domp, domp. And I heard it 2 or 3 times. I got up and went out the front and looked out the front. Somebody to pick up somebody else. 1 o'clock in the morning, can't get out the car and go talk to them and ring the doorbell. Or the person inside can't be watching for them. They, think, oh, it's just a horn. It's okay. I came back. My wife's
problem with red light. Yeah.
My wife sleeps so.
Oh, go ahead.
My wife sleeps so soundly. She didn't hear anything going off.
Oh. Yeah, that's my wife is usually like that, but sometimes the slightest noise I don't hear, and I'm a light sleeper. And she'll go, "What was that?" I'm like, "I didn't hear anything." Like, okay, and she goes back to sleep. But oh, any slight noise will wake me up. It doesn't take much.
Well, I got that 12-pound watch mutt, and she won't bark at it because she's in protection mode. But I'll hear her get up and move around, if something's going on. And a while back, I was sitting in, we were sleeping, and I heard her moving around a lot. Went to check on it, got up and check on her, and there's a knock on the door, and it was a sheriff's deputy. And I went out, and I'm thinking, I ain't want it right now. I went up, and he says, "Okay, we caught a guy trespassing on your property. We were chasing. We ran across your property. Do you want to prosecute?" I said, "Oh yes."
Oh yeah, never stop. Yeah, let them have it, man.
Yeah. But we live in a parish.
Yeah.
We don't have counties. We have parishes, and
right.
We live in one right directly outside of New Orleans. We have such a better. Well, we have a sheriff's office, not a police force. We have such better protection than they do. 3-4 years ago, my wife was ill in the hospital, and I was at home alone, and I felt like I was having a heart attack. It was an anxiety attack, and I called for an ambulance. Within 1 minute, the policeman was on my front porch. Responded out there, and we've had other incidences in the neighborhood where somebody needed to come check something out, and they've been right there. Now, that's nothing to brag about, except in New Orleans, I could have probably sent smoke signals. They're so freaking antiquated and out of staff and untrustworthy that you just can't get a response to them out of them. They tell you now, their standard response on stuff is, if you have an automobile accident, unless somebody's severely hurt, try to work it out between yourselves.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah. Which means if you go speeding down a highway, there's nobody to stop you. There's nobody watching.
Yeah.
But then we have a mayor, a lady mayor, and they have one in New Orleans that really believes that robbing a bank is not illegal. It's just to be robbed real often. It could be. They're having a major impeachment thing on her right now. Every time I see your name in the headlines in the paper or on the news blurbs I see, it's because they're investigating for something else. She had she maintains a private apartment which is owned by the city, which is not permitted. She just had somebody buy her a new wardrobe because she was going to go visit some country. That's okay, but you can't fly first class across the Atlantic with your security guard and just say you're going to go visit a town. So it's I'm writing rules. I'm okay, and the councils in the town is really hard pressed to turn this nightmare around.
Yeah,
I don't blame them. The last couple have been pretty rough, and this one isn't going to be any better. It's a shame. The first election, the first 4 years, often goes well because they want to get reelected. But after that, it's a downhill slide all the way.
Yeah, it's that way here. California, the governor, people hate him, of course, because he's a Democrat, but he'll do that. Every governor I know of, the first 4 years, great, gets reelected. And all of a sudden, everything just goes to pot. He doesn't give a crap about nothing anymore. And we just re-elected a new governor, or our last governor, so he's going to be in there another 4 years. So we'll see what happens. Gavin Newsom.
I'm anti-political parties. They're not parties. They're nightmares. But you know, we had I'm Italian. We had a Dago friend of mine in a town next door, and Billy Dillett and I tease about his hammerhand. And Billy says, "Don't go through a hammerhand. Don't go through a hammerhand." And it used to be a joke. If you're black, don't go through a hammerhand. But it's just a little township. And the Dago was running for mayor. And I saw some blurb on the internet about him, and I put back that, I knew him. He was a good guy. Vinny was he was an attorney, but he was honest, and he was fair. And I had a guy knock on the door one day. He wanted to put a Vinny Mosca sign in my yard, and I said, no. I made a mistake saying publicly that I like Vinny, because there's a whole bunch of people say, "You like Vinny? I like you." But he was just that kind of guy.
Oh my goodness.
There you go, sir. What is this? Garden bag. Oh, garden.
My wife got something, I guess. All right, thanks. Oh. Man.
We might be in trouble. It looks like a boom box. Hey, good evening, Woodturners. Looks like it. I didn't have this. I'm trying to prep my screen to where I can do screen captures on birdhouses. Didn't see we had a pile of folks pile in. A lot of regulars. And if you're a new member, welcome. And if you'd like to say hello, say hello.
Somebody named Leslie Hanna said it's his first time here in the chat. So welcome, Wesley.
Yeah. Just step up and say hi, folks. That's what we're here for.
I've seen
Why can't I get you?
Joaquin posted the meeting tonight, so that'll probably help.
Say Joaquin did what, sir?
He posted about the meeting tonight and how to get online and so forth, so that'll probably make a difference.
Oh man, I mean, this birdhouse thing is the first time we've really promoted something like this and had a good time. I have got 50 birdhouse photographs in my stash right now from this week.
Wow.
And I'm working on. I do the promos. Normally I do one on Wednesday. We just got a little preoccupied today. I have enough for 2 or 3 promos right now, and they're all going to go. I'm trying to see how I can link them all into one program, because the work I'm seeing is awesome. The work that we're seeing in this club is awesome. Really, really deserves to be shown and to be appreciated. And it's, I hope Bob's not here to hear this. It's just a birdhouse. But, my wife and I were talking about it the other day, and she said, same thing, just a birdhouse. I got one of Bob's birdhouses he sent me last year, the year before, as a gift. And I said, that is one of Bob's birdhouses. And I said, now, what I want you to understand is these are 2 pieces turned 5 ways, one of a wood item, one of an antler item, and another exotic wood item. And they're all put together in a piece of art that is only 4 inches high and 2 inches wide. And it's hollowed. And she said, "Oh, is that something?" I said, "Think about it. That's like you finishing a quilt, a big, beautiful, complex quilt, and knocking it all out and then saying, 'Oh, look at this.'" And she said, "Now I got it." And I said, "Oh, yes, that was what it is." Howdy, Wesley. Says, be right back. He's got to go feed the horse. Okay. Mike McEwen's here from Mike McEwen is here from the far west of Canada, or the east of Alaska. The west coast of Arizona is in. Dave Rose is in. He's recording now. See, I caught you, Dave, right off the bat. So I had you plugged in.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. All right. Just cruising through the. Whoa, a lot of folks in early this evening, which is nice. I hope all you have been turning. We actually had a winter this week. We had a winter. It lasted 4 days. I couldn't come in the shop because I was chilly and a little under, and it was in the 40s in here. And tonight I came in to set everything up, looked up the thermostat. It's our thermometer. It's 72 degrees in the shop. No conditioning at all, just 72 degrees. So it got there from yesterday to today. And weather is they'll have rain tomorrow, and maybe we'll take a dive by Monday or Tuesday again. I'm okay. I can run around naked. It's all these clothes bother me. It's not real winter here. Like, I've seen some photographs from, I think we saw it from Matt where he had snow, and Matt's in Detroit area. So.
Right now where I'm at, it's 62 degrees here in California.
Mike says it's actually south of Alaska. Mike, guess what? We're all south of Alaska. 23 degrees in eastern Newton, North Carolina today. Oh, Monday morning. Yeah. A guy that was at PT today lives about 60 miles north, and it was 35 in his neighborhood this morning when he got up. It didn't even approach something or even feel damp this morning when we got up and got out. It was that lake Pontchartrain really knocks the heat down, or the cold down, pardon me. But then the summertime, it brings you humidity. Just in case you missed. Hey, Randy.
I spent a winter on the North Shore of Alaska when I was in the Navy. To give you context for that, the Inuit Eskimos go south for the winter.
Far south. I went up there to Elmendorf Air Force Base. I went up there in 1972. Work on an unreported nuclear accident or close to nuclear accident, and we had to remove a weapon, and they brought in 10 or 12 guys to work on this project, and it was in April. I thought it was December. I mean, you get off the plane with parkas and stuff, and all these people that live there walking around in shirt sleeves. That ain't happening with me. But it was gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous.
I actually came back from Vietnam 115 degrees and landed in Elmendorf on a C-131 in blizzards.
Whoa.
I was cold.
When I was in 72, when Nixon decided to go back and bomb Vietnam again, or crank up the B-52 of the arc light program, I was stationed in Michigan. We hadn't seen grass since October. It's just, that's Michigan on the coast. We flew almost nonstop Well, we stayed on the same plane all the way there, but just we had to make some round trips to get there. We showed up, it was 93 degrees. Now, when we all got on that plane, or most of us got on that plane, we had parkas. When we got there, we were begging to take our jackets, our shirts off. And everybody had cold the first week. Everybody. Oops. I don't know what that is. I have to catch that because I don't carry an iPhone, but it comes through to my desktop. Yeah, some of that guy out there that never carries the iPhone. Oh, Dane's in the house. Look at this, boys.
Whoa, Dane. Where you at, buddy?
He's lost in the background.
Yeah, I heard you're doing a demo tonight, Scott.
No, you're doing the demo.
No, guaranteed I'm not.
But Dane, I could use a hand with gallery tonight.
Still up in Kentucky doing, vehicle problems, construction issues. Just had my truck towed off again today.
You don't leave for a while.
Yeah, that's for sure. So what are you making tonight, Scott?
I'm gonna do some icicle ornaments.
Oh, cool.
Stuff like, let me grab a handful like these things.
Oh, right on.
My green screen's not showing the green on these. It's kind of see-through.
Well, you're only about 20 feet away.
So, yeah.
Should be a good demo.
Some fun tonight. Oh yeah, yeah. There's all kinds of different design opportunities when you make these things. So
right.
We'll delve into all that.
Well, you can't make any mistakes. It's your creation.
Right.
That's right.
So a member sent me a photograph of a bowl he did, and I emailed him back, wow, really should see a demonstration. He said, my work's not good enough. His work was awesome, or is awesome. Awesome. And he did a piece that was sort of a burl. It had some really unique grain characteristics. And the way he sliced it out, he didn't damage those characteristics. And they were, I've turned a bowl that this happened to. It was becoming featured. It was, he didn't harm it to where when it was starting to dry, it didn't crack. It wrinkled, it textured itself. And it was absolutely gorgeous. And well, I turned one in, it was for my fundraiser for my oldest daughter's school for her kids. And I turned it 1 week, and the next week she came to pick it up, and it was all wrinkly. And I said, wait, I can spin it and smooth that out. She said, oh no, don't you dare touch that thing. And it went for a pretty good price at the fundraiser. That's I think good. the president of the club of the school or whatever, it was a fair bid thing. Everybody had a bid, and she got into a bidding war with the guy over it. So it went really well. Wasn't one of those, can I please get a bid on this or please get a bid on that? Right. And I did a lot of ornamental work for that function, and that all went fast.
I'm sure it went to a good home.
Yep. A flat spot in somebody else's house. That's what I'll look for.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with all the ornaments I sell every year, I always wonder how many people keep them or toss them at the end of the season. I hope they keep them, but you never know.
I was with a group that we did ornaments for a children's hospital. We did them 4 or 5 years, and I think the 5th year I went down there for the presentation. I was in the area building something, and I was talking to one of they got a title for the head nurse, and I was chatting with her. And she said, I wish we could keep them. It looks like the employees steal them the day after Christmas. I said, the employees? She said, oh, yeah, they all think it's ours. You know, not for the kids. It's our decorations, and they take one. So we did it 1 or 2 more years after that, but I wasn't that cool on. I was doing it for the kids. Don't want to be greedy. I mean, I was doing it for the kids. Yeah.
But yeah, Scott, I would have to imagine if somebody is paying money on Christmas ornaments that are hand turned, I would have to imagine they're going to keep them and put them up for the following year as well.
Yeah,
that's why I like.
I've got my brother-in-law's got. I think Chuck's got 8 grandkids. We're going to pass by there tomorrow and drop off a pile of lasered ornaments I did the other day. And we did them in pairs. So they can put Chuck, Amber, Abby, and do one for each. And okay, and the thing is, I'm going to put this on my tree. You put that on your tree. And I think it'll be a cute little idea. And then I did some coasters for him for drinks, you know, for around the house. He's a retired fire chief, and he's very much enjoying retirement. Very much. He just found out how expensive it was, and we all know that.
Oh yeah.
If it came with a regular check, it ain't too bad, but you want to do so many things, a regular check really isn't adequate. All right, looking through here. Somebody in a club, and I don't understand nicknames on when you sign in. I mean, or have them on messages. I mean, Alamo is, I think, Billy Burt wood turning, and I had to ask him the other day what name was on this piece.
Yep.
But a guy sent me a fact list on drywall screws because he wanted to take us to task on whether or not to use drywall screws and faceplates. And it came by my email, and I highlighted some spots and sent it back to him. And I said, read these words. And I heard back from him. He said, oops, I didn't know that. You know, and they just go in so easily. He didn't read the cautions on the MSDS for the product. And some folks don't realize that they can spoil you. They're made for one specific purpose, drywall. And if you go beyond that, you're taking hell of a chance of them fracturing. They will fracture. They have no flex. They will fracture. And I've always said in my shop, I'm not going to have them. Years ago, I did it. I'm not doing it again. If anybody has seen Kim's Facebook post the last couple of days.
Yeah, I saw them today.
Boy, I've had some crappy work done on my jobs, but now I know where they learned it at. Cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they came up here to Kentucky and learned how to construct stuff from up here. Yeah, it's some crap stuff that's going on there that she's been posting photos over, at least what I saw this afternoon.
Yeah, it's just a shame the way that their work turned out. And I know the argument from the contractor, you'll never know it after we mud it. Yeah, you will. In a year or two, you'll have a thermal change in there, and your little shadow cracks will show up. And if your kids bounce the ball against it, fall out. It's nightmarish.
I was going back further, and looking at the electrical as well. I'd be scared to plug anything in based on what I saw on that as well.
Yeah, and she said, "Wow, we had some plumbing problems." No, you have a builder problem.
Yeah.
The inspectors didn't let that fly.
Well, not every place has building inspectors now, so you can't jump on the inspectors.
If you live out in the country,
because I found out about that up here in Grayson County, Kentucky, because there is no such thing as a building inspector.
Wow, I'm in Western PA. We even got drywall inspectors.
Nope, they don't have it up here. You know what they told me? They believe in their freedoms up here.
Wow.
And that was coming from the sheriff's department, from a deputy.
Wow.
Yeah.
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 Well, there is no building inspector.
Yeah. In the parish I live in, they're fair, not really good, because if you want good, you can buy good.
Right.
But they're fair. Several times I've had an inspector say, I don't think that meets code. Can you come on? Can you come out to the truck and we can look this up? I said, sure. And I'll point at one of my aides or a carpenter or somebody, say, come with me. You got to find out about this. And that shut down that conversation. There was nothing to go look up in the truck. He's driving around a pickup truck with an open bed. He's not carrying the Bibles of construction. He just sees the opportunity to make a buck.
Yep.
And we've lost the director of that department a couple of times in the last, I know it goes back 40 years. My uncle was an inspector for that department, and I saw him one time. I said, "How's it going?" He said, "I quit." So why'd you quit? And he said, "I'm with a bunch of thieves."
Mm-hmm.
Really? And he says, "Yep, I'm with a bunch of thieves. I don't think I ever want anybody to know that." So, I left it and going to go do something else, because they were telling him what the average price, what he should be charging to do a mechanical inspection, what he should charge for do this and try. He said, "Don't they pay that?" And he says, "Yeah, but they're paying a parish. They can pay you." And it was awkward. In New Orleans, if y'all had heard it, about a multi-story building in downtown New Orleans on the edge of the French Quarter about 3 years ago collapsed, under construction, collapsed. They had photographs taken while they were still working on the building. When you pour concrete floors, so you have to let them cure out about a month before you put a full load on them. And you keep the bridging up until you can run out those months. And these folks were pulling the bridging out a week after they poured it. And that slab failed and the whole side of the building came off. They had inspections, but they also have GPS trackers on the inspection vehicles. Some that said they inspected it were parked 2 blocks away for 10 minutes during that inspection. Now, you can't walk to the building and back in that amount of time. So I pulled up, waited for my money, and went home. And just about a week before that thing happened, the director of the department was warning his folks, his inspectors, about tightening up a little bit. And somebody recorded it on the iPhone and gave it to the media. I think he's going too. But they were looking for talented folks to come do that. Mm-hmm. They put so many restrictions on it because they wanted them New Orleans based and all this stuff. I don't think they've ever filled up those slots.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not.
No.
We had an electrical inspector here that you were guaranteed to fail your first one. so that he could get the fee for the second one.
Right. Now, you think about, some folks, well, what's wrong with that? That endangers you and I. It really does. Because if the house next door to me burns down, I'm going to suffer. If a house my kids go move into burns down and they're just tenants, they could be impacted. But no matter what, those kind of blatant bribery type things are terrible. I had a plumber on my job. I knew the guy when we were kids, and he was on the job site. And we had a rule about parking on the back of the school because it was a neighborhood, and the neighbors didn't want all the trucks back there. So I went along. I said, okay, fine. We got room to park him someplace else. I went back there one morning because he was parked there. And John, how you make it out? With this and what's that? He said, I got to ask you to leave me here. I said, why? And he says, can't talk about it, but I got to ask you to leave me here. So I went back into the building, and a few minutes later, I realized we had 2 visitor plumbers that I had never seen before. And both of them had pretty clean clothes on. And then I went looking through the parking lot where we put folks at. There were 2 FBI agents. And were there for a sting operation on the plumber, inspector, and then his boss. And within about a week, they were all not working, had all been replaced because they were staking out job site by job site by job site, building up a case with that whole department. Yeah, yeah.
Not a good thing.
No.
I know out here in Pittsburgh area, in Western PA, we all got to follow not only the national builder standards, whatever the township ordinances are. And I just came from a hospital in Erie. After everybody's done inspecting, you have the labor and industry inspection come in and look before you even get an occupancy permit. And it's like, he'll poke his head up above the ceiling and look for 20 minutes just to find something. Electricians cannot hang air Romex, not Romex, but the armored cables off of our ceiling wire. Ceilings, lights have to be wired up separately. Mm-hmm. It is. There is no shortcuts.
It's kind of like refereeing a football game. Every down, every play, you can call holding.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
There is
no shortcuts.
Right after my event 8 years ago, and I needed to do rehab, I went to a building that was across the street from the hospital I was in. And I went in downstairs, parking garage, went up the elevator, got my treatment done, and I saw a sign, exit this way. I went through the sign. It was an outside stairway. I walked, and the building was maybe 6 months old. And I was looking around. There was some cheesy things around. Walked down on the stairway, and I thought, fire marshals never looked at this place. This is nowhere near a legal stairway. And I started making little notes. I had 31 gigs on that stairway, and I'm not the fire marshal. I mean, just, the steps weren't even. There's a code about how even it can be and how far out of the handrails, wrong heights. They didn't continue over the stairway like they're supposed to. The area of refuge is outside the door. It's supposed to be 5 foot by 5 foot when the door is closed. But when the door opens, you're supposed to be able to get a wheelchair and all out. None of that would have at this place. I'm just thinking they had, well, it was in the city, and that's number one. But they just had some pull and got past somebody. Or maybe didn't get the fire marshal inspection because they don't enforce it like in our parish. It's super difficult. I've become friends with some of the inspectors, and only friends that we can talk. If something came up, we could talk. I would openly say, that doesn't look right. Can you take a closer look at it? Because the contractor thinks that'll be okay. And he said, oh, no, you can't do that. I said, okay, fine. And one time, a guy, he was a really good fireman who moved into the fire marshal department. He said, you wouldn't believe I found the other day. I found 4 sprinkler heads coming through the ceiling, no pipes going to them. I said, really? Where was that? He said, Byron's job. One of the guys in the company I work for, building an office building right down the road. And
They
I
did
called
that
Byron.
in the old folks home here.
Yeah.
They
Called Byron.
they just took the fire nozzles and glued them to the ceiling.
Yeah. These guys had a little more class. They had a 1x4. But I said, Byron, this guy says he's got some floating fire heads. He said, he told me that, and I talked to a sprinkler guy about it. We don't think that's true. I said, take a stick and punch up on that head. If it moves, it ain't in a pipe. And I saw him at a staff meeting a couple of weeks later. He said, do you know what it took to fix all that? I had to take the ceilings out of half a dozen rooms in order to see just what kind of crummy work they did and how they used the wrong fittings, wrong elbows and all this. And I said, well, you see, you did the right thing. He said, you didn't hear me. I had to pull all those ceilings out. I said, didn't you hear me? Back charge. You make me go through more work, I'm going to charge you for more work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a change order.
Definitely.
I was
back charges there.
I was the king of back charge.
You
got a mess.
You have to.
Yeah. I said, you left the mess. You want to clean it up? We'll get it later. No, service master will come in tonight and take care of it for you. Who's paying for that? How are you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You want to clean up your messes? I'll hire 2 laborers. And you're paying them 48 hours a week.
Yes. That was, I call it the all about me crew. So many of them out there, all about me crew. We were talking earlier about the cell phone usage. Everybody's going to have one. Everybody's going to be linked to one. I've gotten so bitter over it. Mine is on the table in the kitchen. And maybe every day I'll go up and eliminate all the scam calls and see if there's something I might have to respond to. But the deal is this. If you need me, you can text me, you can email me, or you can call my wife. I'm not married to that phone. I'm not going to be married to that phone. I remember when I was a kid, I followed Dick Tracy in the newspaper, and Dick had a phone or a TV, even a radio and a TV on his wrist that he could look at something, And I said, I feel like Dick Tracy from the 50s. I got to look at your image and talk to you instantly. Can't function without it. I hope we don't live in that kind of world. Well, we're getting there. It's okay. Dane, it says you towed your truck back. Still no progress on that?
Yeah, this is number 4 now. Same issue. Crank, no fire.
Wow. Diesels used to be simple.
Well, that's an 03. It was still simple back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm beyond frustrated. Dealership
I can
beyond
understand.
Frustrated.
They'll tell you it's a computer.
Well, see, it's all mechanical. There is no error code for it. So,
oh, okay.
2003 is before computers were hooked up to everything.
Oh, I remember old farmer next to my brother's 80 acres. He had an old Massey.
Yep, me too. Grew up on one.
So what do you run on that thing? Yeah, he used number 2 Pennsylvania crude for fuel. He used crude oil.
Yeah, we used fuel oil. Yep. We dyed it whenever the inspector came out.
That's when I was starting winter time.
A little bit of red dye,
Yeah.
I'd go get mine filled up at the boat launch. But because they didn't charge and have those fees. Can't charge your road use fee if you're not on the road.
35 cents a gallon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The good old days. When I had my event, we had 2 fairly new cars. And in fact, just 2 weeks before the thing, we just bought a new Explorer. And when I was told I couldn't drive any longer, we talked about selling them. And my wife said, sell the Honda. We had a little Honda CRV. Sell the Honda, we'll keep the Explorer. And she went over to talk to her dad, who was an awesome Ford mechanic. And he said, nope, don't go that way. Go the other way. I said, why? He says, that Honda's almost 10 years old. And the only thing you've went under the hood for is to change the oil. That Explorer is about 2 years old, and we've done major work on it. And it could probably be in the shop with me for a week, just tweaking out problems. So get rid of the Honda. And here's a guy that lived and died by Ford for his whole career. You know. And now I think he'd pay his kids and grandkids to buy some other brand car because when something goes wrong, hey, Bradley, what can we do for this? What can we do for that? Don't miss those days. Okay, who's been turning this week? Steve's gonna.
I
have been.
I got a couple of folks here. Let's go to Ronald Todd here. Ronald.
Hey, Ron.
Hello.
You still with us?
I'm
here.
here.
I got you, buddy.
Yeah. All right. Well, I posted a birdhouse the other day. And
I got that one.
That's the one I posted. I finished that yesterday. And then I finished that one today.
Those are pretty.
Well, they're a little different. Everybody wants to hang the birdhouses. Well, I'm finding use for my wine goblets that I have leftover bases with.
That is a cool idea. I like it.
Looks good,
so I killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
Nah, no pun intended, right?
Yep.
All right. That's great.
That makes a nice table decoration. It really
they're not
does.
too bad. They didn't turn out too bad. I had to wait for the birds for a little. I ordered them off of Amazon. So I did have to wait for them, but.
Yeah, you'll have to throw the link in for them.
Yeah,
I don't even know what the hell the link is.
Oh, come on. Go back to Amazon. They don't have numbers or anything, but, I guess that's protection for them.
Yeah. No, that's
pretty cool.
They have so many different kinds and sizes. You just kind of have to match up the size of bird to accommodate the size of the house that you make.
Yeah. I saw a blurb in the news the other day where Amazon has to release 10,000 workers because they geared up. They geared up so big for the pandemic, and now, brick and mortar is not back, but they ganged up. In smart business, if you don't need them, get rid of them.
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, that's unfortunate. All right, well, let's go to David here. Hey, Dave.
There he is. That's me. That's you. That's David.
Oh, how are you? How are you?
Yeah.
All right, sir.
You. All right. I decided to take the challenge, and I have very rare results. Not too much I had to do with it, so.
Got to go camera to your right.
That's pretty nice. I like that.
It's got a perch on it for him to land and come into the hole. And the roof on it was, I got it too thin, I guess. I couldn't even sand it. It was breaking apart.
I could see light through it. That's beautiful.
That's the first one I ever made.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
It's a birdhouse with a skylight. I like it. Ambient lighting.
This is just a regular bark of a limb that I was laying around here. I just cut it off. This is what was on the end of the long part of it. And I just cut it off, and I said, well, maybe I can use it as a perch.
It's good.
Look, yeah, it looks, I mean, except for the roof, it looks, I'm not supposed to do the button. Except for the roof, it looks like a birdhouse. You know, I mean, if you look at the tree and all
right, now, what's wrong with the roof?
No, but I mean, I wouldn't see I wouldn't see a roof on a birdhouse in the tree. But, you know, that's how you'd find a birdhouse in a tree is, a hole where they go live in.
David, you should put a squirrel up on the roof.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I didn't have too much to do because the thing is, this is all natural and the perch was natural. All I did is a roof, and I before I put the roof on, I had hollowed it out so I could put the hole in here.
Looks like a woodpecker's birdhouse.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And a squirrel on top of it.
Squirrel house.
Really cute.
I think it works great as a squirrel house.
Yeah. Oh, that's a little bit too small for a squirrel.
Well, a little bitty squirrel. Well, they all start all small.
Yeah, I got them little red squirrels, not the bigger grays.
Thank you.
Yeah, or the foxes. No, that's good, David. Thank you.
That's pretty
good job.
All right, let's go to Billy here. He's babysitting turkeys. So let's get him in and out.
No, Billy, if you don't talk to us,
in there.
You're not talking to us, Billy. Not yet.
We can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
Speak up.
Be in and out quicker than you think. Yeah, still can't hear you. We'll come back to you, Billy.
How about now?
There you go.
Now it's better.
Oh, you were just so
y'all better
close.
hope Billy doesn't find out that we were fooling with him just now.
I had the wrong. I had that grumpy look that did it.
It was my fault. I had the wrong microphone selected. I did turn a birdhouse. I am babysitting 2 turkeys out in the smoker. They're finally up to 145, 146. Still got about 20 degrees to go. And I've been smoking them all day, so I'm getting kind of tired. But I did make this little jewel. This was
I like
That's
that.
pretty.
It was a piece of live oak. Look at the grain in that live oak.
That's gorgeous.
It's just so twisty. And I left the natural inclusions and bark and stuff because I thought it was kind of cool. The finial is what was left over from that mesquite finial I turned on that ornament last week. And the roof is what I think was a piece of hawthorn, but look at the chatoyance in that thing.
That's gorgeous.
Wow.
Fantastic.
And that roof is thin, thin, thin. I'm like a 1/16 of an inch thin. I didn't think I was going to get it sanded. It scared me to death.
I like the shape of it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That looks good, Billy.
Everybody's taking after Kay with them 16th inch things.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't do it intentional.
I don't know. When I start getting down 1/4 inch, things start singing at me and I get really scared.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you.
Yeah,
That's
good,
the
Billy.
The ornament itself is only about 1/8 of an inch. I wasn't going to hollow it, but it was just too heavy. So I had to do something. I don't really have any small hollowing tools, but I was able to cobble through it.
It's really nice. A couple of great videos up on YouTube, Billy. Really nice.
Thank you.
Yep. Good job.
I'm one of those.
Don't overcook.
I'm one of those. Billy, I'm one of those 2 people that watch them. Yeah, there's only 2 of you.
Well, I appreciate both of you.
All right.
Hey, I watched them.
Right on.
That's what I'm talking about, right there.
So up next, let's go to Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy.
Jimmy Lee, it's your show.
I'm sorry. I watched them. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I watched Billy. Actually, Billy's the reason I got on the lathe today and actually got mine done. This is the 6th attempt to do a birdhouse. I spent more time dodging flying objects than turning wood. So, and this one actually hit me in the head. Hit me in the face mask. I'll tell you what, that face mask was a lifesaver because it hit right where it would have hit me in the nose. This is what I call a snowbird house. And you remember the commercial that says we'll leave the light on for you? And I got to figure out where the button's at.
Nice. That's good, Jimmy.
You know, when the snowbirds come down, they got to have somewhere to stay. So down here in the South, we just want to make them feel comfortable, feel at home. Actually, with that waistline, this is probably a snow girl. I had so many catches, I ended up not. That's definitely not a sphere, but I threw this one off the lathe 3 times. But the body, the snow person is birch that it was so wet it was throwing water at me. It'd probably be standing on its head when it dries, but that'll be all right. And the hat is actually a piece of pecan, and I made up some abrasive stuff and some polish, and just polished the pecan hat. The pictures I sent into the email, the perch was out here. I said, that perch is awful long, so I cut it off with a pair of scissors. And I came in, I said, I don't think I'm going to show my snowman, my birdhouse. And my bride said, oh, I like it. So if she likes it, I'll show it.
There you go.
I think it's pretty.
I like it too.
It's cool.
I told you you could do it.
It was a lot of fun. Didn't realize that wet wood would sling that much water, though.
Yeah, it does.
Can't wait for it to dry out where I can use some more of that birch. But that's me.
Right on.
Thank you, Billy, for your encouraging words, man. That kept me going.
That's good.
Billy, if I was like my dad, I'd have thrown the lathe and everything out in the woods by now. But, I'm having too much fun with it. So
I'm glad you stayed with it.
That's what's important there, Jimmy. So keep having fun.
Yeah.
Right on. All right, let's go to Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Good.
Good. Well, I've got my entry in the Birdhouse Challenge.
Whoa!
Whoa!
I've never turned a birdhouse before, but
a triplex.
That's what I came up with.
There you go.
Looks like bar stools.
That's cool. You got a condominium there.
I love that roof, Jeff.
That's a 3-bedroom house right there.
Yep. And one of them had a fire.
Yeah, well, I'm calling that that's a rare live edge skylight.
There you go.
That'll work.
That's gorgeous.
Hey, it just needs a little mud, right?
Yeah, right. So that's all out of cherry. The little platforms are cherry, and I just used some copper wire for to hold them up. A little finial at the bottom.
That's cute.
Yeah, that's cool.
A 3-bedroom house.
Yeah, 3-bedroom house. That's right.
Yeah, not to be confused for bed.
There we go.
A flying birdhouse.
And
then I also made. I think I showed part of this on. I showed a little tool that I was putting together to work on this segmented piece. This is a segmented vessel to hold a whiskey bottle, and so it's got a threaded top.
Nice.
So it uses like a brass shower flange.
Yeah.
It's
Did I
all out
send you
of,
my address?
Say again?
Did I send you my home address?
It holds a, you know, a small batch whiskey bottle, but it's all out of barrel wood, the wood that's used for the whiskey barrel.
Cool. You don't need to mail that at all, Jeff. My sister-in-law still lives in Midland. That's my hometown, by the way.
Just drop it off.
Hey, Jeff,
yeah, I'll have her come by and pick it up, and she can bring it to me next time she comes down.
Yeah.
That looks really nice.
Jeff, was that bottle full when you started?
Fit that bottle of Rebecca Creek, though.
Well, you know, you had to make sure the whiskey was worthy enough to build a vessel for it. So yeah, it was.
Was that bottle full when you started that?
It was full. Luckily, my mom works for the distillery, so I have a benefit. I can get pretty much what I want.
Very nice.
So
nice.
Beautiful.
Right on, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Let's go to this guy. He's going to be coming up later on tonight too. Hey, Scott. Oh, Scott, you there?
Me? I'm saying a half the wood furniture present.
Can you go to the next guy? I'm in the middle of something real quick.
Yeah. No problem.
Hey, Dane, can I pop on real quick?
Yeah, well, you just happen to be next up there, Tim.
Oh, okay. Because I've got to go take my meds. I had surgery.
There's a lot of you. There's a lot of you got. I got to go next.
I'm sorry.
I'm just managing as everybody comes in. That's how I'm going. You gotta go. You know, everybody's got Thanksgiving going on.
Oh my God. So the other day, of course, finally convinced the wife cash in part of my retirement and get myself a big boy lathe. So there she is.
Oh, nice.
All right. So I got I've got the lathe extension coming in, the bed extension coming in, and the wife said, hey, you need to hurry up and take your meds. You don't have time to turn crap on it. Well, I turned her a little ornament, nothing big, just checking it out. I did have some vibration, and I did have that tinny sound that Billy Burt was talking about. So I used some of that close cell phone up in the legs, and that quieted it down. So Billy, thank you, man. That was a lifesaver there, because I tell you what, I could not hear myself think over the tink 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 on them thin metal legs. But birdhouses, I still got a couple that I turned earlier in the month, and due to medical conditions, I just have not been able to finish those up. But guys, I'm gonna pop out for this evening. I may be back. I'll keep everything on, but depending on meds and the wife and all the other happy stuff I got to do. Thank you all, and God bless everybody, and happy Thanksgiving.
Yep. Likewise. We'll be here next week. Don't worry about
it. Thanksgiving to you. Congrats on the lathe, Tim, and take care of yourself, buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
And don't forget.
Thanks again. And
remember, Tim, you won't forget. Tim, you won't forget. But red, you know what that means, right?
What's that?
Remember everyone deployed.
Yes, and I wear it every Friday. Every Friday. All right. Thank you, y'all. And
all right.
Thanks for the info on the Chuck as well, because I was able to convince her to spend money on a Chuck.
Yeah.
Well done, Tim. Well done.
Take care now.
Take care.
All right now. All right, let's go to the originator, Mr. Birdhouse Bob.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight?
Look ahead on this guy.
Good. I got a couple birdhouses. I know that's a surprise, but I do one once in a while. You get them untangled here.
What in the world would cause you to make a birdhouse? My God.
I can't believe Bob made a birdhouse. Had one fly by, and I thought he needed a place to live. Looked like he was homeless. That's one I made out of ambrosia maple and walnut. And I got the ambrosia maple was a corner off of a log I got for a bowl blank. Yeah, that's another one.
Those are pretty.
Those are nice.
Thank you.
Good job.
Nice job, Bob.
And I had a piece where I made the ambrosia maple into the body part of it.
Oh,
whoa!
That's cool.
Wow.
That's pretty.
Thank you.
Pretty.
And some
Where's
lucky
the
birds.
wood?
That was a piece of walnut, and I textured the top and put liming wax on it.
There you go.
Oh,
Nice. That was a nice technique. Yes.
almost looks like shingles.
That's snow.
Oh,
Feed people
snow.
in Buffalo. That's how much snow we get here. And then I had that one. I did.
Oh, that's pretty.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I like those. Those are very nice, Bob.
Thank you. They're fun to do.
Yeah, good job.
And that's all I got.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing.
Well, thank you for looking.
All right, let's go. Let's see what this guy's got. Charlie, you out there?
Yeah, I'm here.
No, I got you.
I'm somewhere here. Oh, that's not me.
Wait. That's Bill Louch.
Yeah, that sure is. This is Charlie.
Yeah.
Let's try
There
this.
you go.
Moved on.
Charlie.
I had
That's
to have
nice.
one with a big roof.
There we go.
You got a porch on either side. That's all.
There you go.
That's nice.
All right.
Yeah,
I like
the
the light
body
edge.
the body is applewood and the roof is mountain ash.
Yeah, that's some good looking grain for the roof.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if this one qualifies as a birdhouse. I call it a bird church.
Oh, that's
There you go.
it's like that. It's like that
That's neat.
3-bird house. It's like that 3-bird room
love it.
house. It's unique.
I like that, Charlie.
I like that too.
That's the roof is mountain ash and the body's applewood and the cross. I don't know what that was, piece of wood that was on the floor.
2, 3, 4, 10.
Well, it works, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yep. And I gotta thank Birdhouse Bob for the idea of putting the knob on the perch. It kind of dresses them up.
Yeah, it keeps
Well, it keeps them from
birds
falling
slipping
off.
too.
That's all I got.
Right on.
Beautiful work.
Good job, man.
Nice job. All right. Well, let's go to Pat. Hey, Patrick.
Patrick, you're up, sir.
How's everybody doing?
All right.
All right.
Can't hear you.
Probably 25 or 30 of these for my sister. She decorates her whole tree with Christmas tree with these ornaments.
Nice.
Turned out one for her.
That's a nice one.
That's really pretty.
Got this. I had a brainstorm and I wanted to try something different. I came up with this.
Oh, that is nice.
That's great.
That's
Awesome.
interesting.
Right.
Go a little bit to your right. Please go a little bit to the right with it. There you go. Yeah,
That is
doing screen
great
captures
idea,
on some of
guys.
these.
So they just fly
pull it
up, fly
back
up, get
to
them a
you.
drink of wine and come back down.
When you have too much to drink, you got somewhere to go.
Right. Never far
That
from
is
home.
really nice.
Good stuff.
Nice job, Patrick.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you,
All
sir.
right. Let's go to, let's see. Who are we going to pull out of this list of people? Let's go with Scott. Hey, Scott.
Hi, Dane.
How
Can you hear
doing?
me?
Yep, we got you.
So I have a couple of things here. I got a Doug Miller and a birdhouse project. Oop, hang on. It's washing it out.
Ain't me.
So I made a lid for a jar
There you go.
Focus. There's a snowman in there and a birdhouse.
Oh, nice.
I love
That's
it.
great. Well, y'all giving me
And-
all sorts of good ideas tonight.
And if I can get it to work,
Whoa.
it lights up.
Boy, does it ever.
Yeah.
It does.
Good stuff.
Would you
Or
use
maybe
a
that's a
100
little
watt
better.
bulb?
No, actually, it is a under cabinet light. So I can take it out. But just hang on.
So that birdhouse lights up my life.
So it's just an under cabinet puck light with
Huh.
a remote that sits on top of the jar.
Is it dimmable?
Yes.
Cool.
And then the cap goes on top to hide the light.
Nice.
I like what you did there. That's nice.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
a good
that.
play on everything. Good job, Scott.
So all those pieces that were turned in there were all from the same piece of wood, including this piece. This is for my brother-in-law. He's a big ornithologist.
Oh, wow.
This is a real birdhouse.
Yeah, it is.
It's about 9 inches tall, 7 inches in diameter is the base, and then the top comes off. It's just held on.
Cool.
So that's his Christmas present.
That's a nice Christmas present.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
right.
So that's
Good job,
all
Scott.
I have.
Very creative. All right, let's go to. I know this gentleman's going to have something really cool to look at. Hey, Jim.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? It says on
Yeah,
here.
we got you, Jim.
Okay. I got a couple of them. Well, people were showing snowman. This is a, Bob would know this. This is from a Bob Bacum kind of thing. Snowman hat or head. And my wife turns birdhouses too. This is
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's pretty.
hundreds.
That is pretty.
Anyway, and she does some artwork on them.
Oh, that's pretty.
That's beautiful.
Very nice. Pretty.
I don't know how
Very
many.
nice job.
I don't know how many she's made, but anyway, she uses all the little stuff in the shop. Okay.
And artistic.
Not a thing wrong with that.
We do the straight perch.
So that's a birdhouse in the woods.
You got it. This is ambrosia, maple, and oak. I think it is. But
Hey, we got a repeat for ambrosia tonight.
yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Very nice.
And
Gorgeous.
I made a bunch of full size ones. I got to back up here to show this. This is actually a platter on the top. It's stave construction, and then it has a swing perch so they actually use these things. And the bottom is a plate with like perch all the way around it.
Yeah.
So they can sit on it. But the top has, the funny part is that I made one and I put it, you have to be at least 60 years old to know what that is. That's the original TV antennas, okay?
That's what I was thinking.
Remember?
I remember that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of folks on this one that know what that is.
You got it.
Yeah, may not be 60, but yeah, I definitely know what that is. That's what I grew up with.
Anyway, I did that. It's been on a coat hanger, and I thought it was kind of fun, and I put it on the thing. And then I made a bunch of other ones, and everybody that got one came back and says, you know, you didn't put a TV antenna on mine. And so I had to make these damn TV antennas, like 7 or 8 of them, take them all apart and put them on. But anyway, the bottom comes out to be cleaned. It could actually be used, I suppose. But this was actually turned on a shopsmith. It has a cherry opening and a cherry perch. The perch, I made some real ones, and they actually use that thing. But this is a platter that was turned, and before I knew you couldn't use a skew on a platter, I turned the top with a skew. But anyway, I shouldn't even tell that for liability reasons. Nothing else. But anyway, it was a lot of fun, and it worked.
It works.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
Yeah, there's a guy in the UK that does that.
So which bird has to go out and turn the antenna to get the reception?
To what?
I said, which bird has to go out and turn the antenna to get reception?
Yeah. Yeah, there's no rotor.
Young one.
Remember that, huh?
Yeah, I remember that. Go outside and turn the antenna until I yell at you.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah, and if you were the youngest one, you had to sit there and hold it while the reception was there, so everybody else could watch it.
Yeah. We had to crawl up in the attic. It was just
we had
anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Very good, Jim.
Jim,
Hey,
George
Jim,
has
we
a
had
question for you in the chat.
What'd I do?
George has a question for you in the chat. Says, once the platter was turned, how did you cut the roof at an angle?
That's a good idea. I mean, it's a good. I think I cut that on a bandsaw, and I tuned up the angle on a sander, a disc sander.
That was long ago.
But I did this. I forget what I did. I call this. This is all out of beach. I call this the Wren's Beach House. This had to be done in the
love of the beach house.
This was done in like 1998 or something. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I cut this on a bandsaw. I turned all my life, and in about 1998, I joined a club in Cleveland, and I used to live in Cleveland, and I started doing things on a lathe the right way. But I did a lot of things the wrong way before I learned the right way, and I'm sure this is a prime example. This is all staved, and this was done on a shopsmith, and I'm sure it was all done the wrong way. I think I cut the angle of the circular part too. That was done on a bandsaw, and I'm sure it was totally wrong, and unsafe and whatever else, but it seemed to work. It's amazing how you live through some of this stuff before you learn how to do it, you know?
Yes, it is.
Yep. Yeah, I think we all been there.
Yeah, we all been down that road.
Well, this is a prime example of things I've done, but I must admit, I don't know how many of these I've made, but they all came back and they all had to have that TV antenna on. I'll never forget it. So everything.
How many stations could you pick up?
Yeah, but it was even worse than that. I make them on a table saw, you know, a regular birdhouse, and even those came back and they wanted TV antennas. So it really got to be a signature item. But that was done in 1999 or 1998, and on a shopsmith, I'm sure.
Either way, still very
made it work. That's what counts.
I still got that thing, I don't like it, but it does a lot of things nothing else will do.
Yeah, that they do.
That
they do.
That's about it.
All right. Well, thanks, Jim. All right, let's go to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Tom Rooney, you're up.
Okay. I took the challenge. I've made 3 birdhouses in my career, and those 3 are it.
Nice.
There is some, acacia there. There's some maple there. Let's see, there is some magnolia that's been painted, and there is some madrone.
Looks like you got it mounted on a TV antenna.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
When I looked down, I thought, oh, brother, look at that.
Nice.
So this is my, my attempt to try to do this. It was fun.
Well, that's nice. You got to make some more.
I will do that. It really has been fun. I'm going to plan on making some more.
Yeah, you succeeded well.
Good job, Tom.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back to Scott Hampton. Let's see if Scott's ready.
There we go. You guys can hear me now, right?
I can hear you now.
Great. All right, so I'm going to start off with.
Okay, Scott, is this going to be part of the demo? Scott?
Can't hear you, Scott.
Oh, no, we lost your audio, Scott. Oh, we'll come back to you here. So I think, Eddie, I think Scott was intending on starting his demo and not showing birdhouses.
Oh, okay. Before we go to Scott for his demo, I have to mention that these demos are done by our members. We do not pay the members for this. They're totally voluntary. We ask that you restrain yourself from questioning his techniques or adding to what he is doing. Let's let Scott do the demonstration. We'll have a Q&A following it. If you have a direct question about what he's done, you may ask the question. We prefer you to hold to the Q&A. But remember, these are volunteer demonstrators. These are members of the club just like you are. There's no priority. There's no ranking. There's no click or anything. This is the opportunity for you to be part of your club and enable everyone to share what you know. And we're really high on it. This whole operation was started with the idea that there's so much information out there that we all have. It's time to share. No money, just share. So is Scott back again yet?
Yeah, I'm here. You guys can hear me now.
Now we got you. I'm bumping out, and you're going to bump in. Hold on.
Okay. All right. There we go. So these aren't the project. This is just part of my show and tell. I'll do that real quick, and then I'll get on my demo. These are just what I've been working on. Some maple burl, and then these are painted with milk paint. And then I want to show you guys these over here so they don't fall on the ground. My birdhouse I've been working on. It's a mushroom birdhouse, natural edge, maple burl, and figured maple for the body. And then I find twigs that kind of look like a chimney. So I stick that in the side. And then I use a little branch for the perch right there. So this is my my new version of a birdhouse this year. I'm making like a dozen of them, and I plan to sell them. So that'll be fun. So let's get on with the demo here. I'm going to make icicle ornaments. And these are, your more ornate type. Then I like to play around with like putting trees on them. And I do have a snowman one around here somewhere. Where did I put you? Oh, where's the one with the hat? There he is. And we got these guys right here. So they're just fun little things you can use with scrap wood, little 2x2s and things like that. That's what I make all these out of. So let me mount up a piece of wood. And let me see, which one are we going to make first? We'll make the Christmas tree first. So I'm going to get rid of this board off my lathe. I'm going to go to my 3 cameras so you guys can see what's going on a little better. So I'm going to mount this into a set of pin jaws. This is a 1.5 inch piece of poplar dowel. So you just buy at the hardware store. I use it for a lot of ornaments and stuff. I like the creamy color it presents. And if I want it darker, I can actually just stain it. All different, you can use a different color of stains, light colors or dark colors. So this is just to help support it and get it before I really tighten it down in the lathe. Here, where did I put my? There you are. I keep sitting things down where I shouldn't. I'm going to turn off my overhead lights so you guys see a little bit better. There we go. And I'm gonna just do my general roughing right now, and then eventually I'll take the tailstock away to finish it up. Start my lead up, start it on slow. See, it's kind of out around. These dowels are never quite straight when you buy them, so you do need to true them up. So I'm just using my little 1-inch roughing gouge. You don't need you can use a big roughing gouge on it if you want, but you really don't need to. Oh, I forgot to push a button on here. Let's see if this will. It's gonna record. There we go. I wanted to record this, so I just started. It's recording to my computer, so that way I have it for future reference. So I'm just gonna. I got it turned up. I can turn it up a little bit higher. So I just got it about 2,200 RPMs. And I just start on the inside here and work my way towards the end. You don't want to come in the opposite way and catch that corner, because it can cause you a heap of trouble if the tool catches. It can actually throw it off the lathe. Now we got that all trued up. I'll probably make the Christmas tree first. So I'm just going to mark out. I usually use one I've already made, just helps. I'm going to mark out the little areas I want to keep. So this is going to be waste wood right there. So I'm going to have the little pointy end about right there. I'm going to have that nice long cove. And this part, and that's where the tree's going to start, and then the little bobble on top. It's nice to measure things out like that ahead of time. I use my thin parting tool and just mark those spots so they don't disappear on me when I start cutting. I don't go all very deep, but it gives me an idea where I want to go. Let me grab that one more time. So I think I forgot to mark something. Yep. All right, so I want to put that little bead right about here. So I got to remember not to cut all that wood away when I'm rough turning it down.
A giant cornucopia float. So there we are. We're freezing and it's hailing on us and we're shivering and we're standing on a bunch of grapes and squash and we're waving at people and people are shouting at us. It's so exciting and I couldn't hear what they were
shouting. So I'm going to leave. Oh, I hear some background noise, something. So I'm going to leave this one not cut just so the wood doesn't become too weak in that area. So I'm going to pick up my roughing out gouge again and just kind of do some peeling cuts. All this is a little too big for what I need it to be. So I'm just going to shrink all this down and waste some of this wood away. I need to leave that large there for the bead. And I'm just kind of shaping starting that cove right here in the middle with my roughing gouge, getting it going. I can do the same thing going this way, where I pick up a regular spindle gouge. I'm just using the corner right there, and it just cuts through it just like you would if you're using a skew chisel to do this. I can do the same thing on this side. Now, if you don't have a small roughing gouge, you can use a larger roughing gouge to do this, but it's easier to get it in tight spots with a smaller one. All right, so now I'm just gonna grab a regular spindle gouge here. It's a 1/2 inch. I'm just gonna take this part down a little further down towards the hotel center there. So I want to create that bead at the end. So what I'm going to do is I just marked the center there. So I want to bring my bevel in contact, raise the back of my hand, the handle. So you guys can see that. Let me zoom out on that one camera and you guys can see the motions on my tool a little bit better. And I'm going to bring it down, lift the handle until I start getting a cut. And then I'm just going to do a twist and push and swing the handle away from me for that direction there. Come back. And just do the opposite kind of motion. So that bead is a little too big for what I want. So I'm just going to take some of this down because it's going to need to go away anyway. So it's going to allow me to get a little further in. So I'm just going to do like a V cut here. Using the tip of the tool. Come back this direction. And I'm just going to take this bead down a little bit more. It's a little too big for my liking. Now this poplar is fairly soft wood, so it takes sanding really well. You could use a sandpaper to actually finish shaping the wood if you need to. So I need to take this way down. So 45 degrees with my tip of my tool, and I just kind of wasted some of that wood away. I'm going to come up here and just start taking that cove down. And I'm just going to get this as thin as I want right now. That looks pretty good right there. So I want to match that thickness on this other side. And this needs to be taken down just a little bit. Go. And still some more. I'm going to get it down to where that parting cut was done. There we go. And I start with the tool at 45 degrees and then I give it a little twist. And when I get up to this part, my tool's almost at 90 degrees. So I'm just looking to see if I kind of match that. I'll adjust it after I make this middle bead here. So I need to take a lot of this away. And it's a little too big for the beads, so I'm just going to start 45 degrees on the tool. I'm just shrinking this down. Make it a little narrower. I'm just doing like step cuts here, using the tip of the tool, kind of narrowing this whole thing down. There we go. Now I can do the same thing, make a bead, start the bevel rubbing, lift the handle, twist and push away. Do the same thing on this one. When I lift the handle though, I'm gonna twist and bring the handle towards me. Well, sometimes it'll do that. If you're not careful, it'll actually skate back on you, and that's what that did. So I gotta clean that up. The speed's going to be a little smaller than I thought because of that skate, but we'll get it rounded over yet. Oh, did it again. It's been a little while since I did a live, so just want to get my feet wet in it again here. There we go. That's looking better.
You're all good, Scott.
And I need to just bring up that edge right up to the bead on that side, kind of clean up the bead on this side here. And then I'm going to grab me a very small detail gouge. And I'm just going to kind of separate the two by doing a small V cut here. This is a 1/4 inch detail gouge. So I'm going to come in at like 90 degrees, the flute. This helps separate the two from each other. And I need to take a little bit more down right here. And I see a bump in this curve too, so. There we go, that's better. Still not the best, but 90 degrees curve, just cut a V groove. There we go. So I'm just gonna use that same small detail gouge and just kind of clean this area up right here. This doesn't quite match the other side, so that's what I'm shooting for. And so I want to take this down now. This is going to be like just a large cove. And you want to work from the outside down to the middle. You don't really want to work your way uphill because you'll be fighting in grain. So when you get to the bottom here, you just want to stop, go back the other way. We're just going to work our way down until we're happy with it. I'm going to take this down a little bit. There we go. And you can make it as thick as you want, or you can go even thinner with it like I'm going to do here. And you just want to work your way back and forth. Get that curve to match, going both directions here. All right, so now what we want to do is create a V cut right at the bottom of that cove. So I'm back to my small detail gouge, 90 degrees. I'm just going to work my way in. And then clean up that cut here. Now let's with this so far, that bead down here is still a little too big for my liking, so I'm going to take it down a little bit more before I move up and the wood gets weaker. I'm going to take this down. And just cut a bead there just to be able to get a little further down into the wood. Wondering if this should be the tree or the snowman. This will be a good thing for the tree. I've already got that. I'm gonna use my small detail gouge again. And just get down there a little further. And now I just need to adjust the curve here. Some light cuts just to get that curve right. Then we'll touch it up a little more with the sandpaper. All right. So now I need to take this down a little bit. I'm just going to create a larger bead right here. I'm just going to take a look at that sample I made here. All right, so that's what I did. I like the look of that sample I made, so. But this one, Scott, the sample doesn't have a bead. Yeah.
Before you get started back to cutting, can you hold up the sample again?
Oh, sure.
Since there's a break.
Right there.
Look,
And now you can kind of see what I'm going for. But instead of this little fillet right there in between, I'm putting a bead between the tree and the top there this time instead of just a straight on V cut like that.
Right on.
I like to change it up a little bit. It's good to have, you know, add a little different designs as you work your way in. All right, so now let's make the tree. So I'm just going to clean this up a little bit, make the cutting a little bit easier. So for the tree, you just want to start with the tree or the tool at 45 degrees. You just come in. And there's a bottom branch right there. Take this down a little bit. That way it's a little more narrow. Same thing here. What I'm doing is I'm starting at 45 degrees and then I'm just turning the tool all the way to 90 with the handle straight. I'm not moving it in or out or anything. So I need to take a little bit more off. And that's too big of a cut to get all that. So there we go. It's a little bit better. I want to go in a little bit deeper with this and come out. So you got to remember, you want the bottom a little bit bigger than the, and just work your way up. I'm going to take this down. Then I'm going to do that same cut, and this will be the last branch. So I'm going to just kind of make that a little bit smaller. And I'm just going to adjust as I go, make that a little bit deeper there. All right, so I need to take a whole bunch of this down. Careful of the jaws. Now I just want to make this a little, need to make this a little narrower. So I'm just wasting wood away. Now you can either put a bead on the top or leave it like that and just put an eye hook in the top. Where did I put that sample at? I had it, no, I don't. There you are. Sometimes, yeah, I'll put a small bead like this on it just for the eye hook to fit. And the way I cut it here, what I need to do is just pull the tailstock back a little bit and pull the wood out of the chuck a little ways. So I'll probably do that just so we can get that bead to the jaws. So we'll see if I need to move it or not. Sometimes I can create a cove down in here where I can create that bead. So I'm going to grab me my smaller detail gouge again. And first I want to dress this bead up. It's kind of looking awkward. It's kind of a, oh. I want to get that all the way down and I'm hitting this part. So I can just clean that up. All right, that looks all right. So I'm just going to fix this little bit right there that my tool touched. So I want to sand at this point because once I make that bead, the piece is going to be really, really weak and it might break in half. So I'm just going to lower my lathe speed down and I just use 180 on here and it'll clean it up pretty quick. Get it at the right speed. I'm sanding about 750 RPMs. Get this down in here, clean that up. And clean the cove. I want to get rid of any tool marks that might have been left behind. Fold the sandpaper in half. Just get those two parts in there. Gonna duck it in there. And let's clean up that bead. Around here, some fresh sandpaper. And we'll just clean these up. You want a smooth surface here if you're going to paint it. Sometimes I paint them, sometimes I don't. Some people just like the natural look of the wood. If we have time, I'll show you how I paint them towards the end of my demonstration. So let's clean this bead up. And this last one here. And it shapes really quick with this sandpaper here. All right. So I can probably back the tailstock off and it should really not go anywhere. We'll see here. So I'm just going to do it nice and gentle. Make sure it's not wobbling around too much at this end. It's a little wobbly, so I'm just going to put the point in there to help support it. And now I want to, sometimes I like to be able to cut that end off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch centers here. Get these tools out of the way. So I'm going to turn off the lathe. I'm going to back it off. And I've got another live center that I've took the point out of that I'll put in here. And that little bead in there will just, how did I put it? Oh, geez. Where did I put that thing? There you are. So I'm just going to be very gently, I got some tear out right there I didn't see. I'm going to hold this, support it with my hand while it's spinning, and I'm just going to take this all the way down. Man, that's not looking too good. So I'm going to clean that up. I'm just going to slide this right into the live center. It's got a big opening on this one. Anybody that knows a Shopsmith, this is a live center from Shopsmith. And I use it for situations like this. It comes in handy. I'm just cutting here where I saw some tear out. So I'm going to have a look, see if I got it. We'll grab some sandpaper. It still looks a little rough, but I think the sandpaper will take care of that. That probably cleaned that up really nice. Yep, that looks good. So I'm just going to bring this tail center out just a little bit, see if it's still supporting it. I can back it up a little ways. Just where it's touching in there. Whoop, I pushed it into it. Go. Still too close. So I'm just going to do this by hand here. And then when I do the top one, I'll put that bead into that live center for support. So I'm just going to bring my hand around here. And I'm just going to slowly cut this away. Probably turn up the lathe just a little bit, make sure it doesn't go wobbling all over the place. I'll speed up the cutting process a little bit more. We're getting there. When you're supporting by hand, you just want to be gentle with the cuts if you can. Oh, popped out of my hand there.
Take your time. You got plenty of time.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to hurt. You don't want to try to force or push the time limit on when you're cutting like this. I think I just about got it. Oh, one more little thing there. Stinky little nubbins are the hardest things to get rid of.
That they are.
So I'm gonna grab me a sandpaper. Where's the stuff I was looking for? All right. And I'll just sand the end of that. Good rule of thumb, if your fingers are getting hot while you're holding it, you're holding too tight. Just a gentle touch, doesn't take much to hold it. All right, there we go. So I'm going to stop the lathe. I'm going to bring up this tail center. It's got like just a little cove pocket in there. So it comes in really handy. It creates like a cup center when you take the point out of this. So I'm just going to start up the lathe and just bring that up. It's kind of gentle like. Ooh. Start up. There we go. Now I can finish up that little bobbin on the top. So I need to bring my tool rest a little bit closer. So what I want to do is change tool rests. So I have a smaller one than this. It comes in handy for this kind of situation. I love this little thing here. It lets me get right up into the wood there. Nothing really blocking it. And you just want to check the height, make sure you're at the right height. That's a little high. It should be good. Yep. So we're just going to cut this away and create a small bead on top for the eye hook. So I'm just starting at the top there and just kind of doing the twist again. I want to go the opposite way. Make sure you don't cut all the way through. Kind of clean that up. Just a small V cut right here to separate the two. Doesn't have to be deep or anything. And we'll just kind of waste this wood down, get it out of the way. Just want to make sure you're careful not to cut this all the way out. I'm just going to do like just a slight cone shape, and then I'll sand it around that when it's off the lathe. So what I want to do is just be able to twist this off. And we're almost to that point. There we go. Put my tools on the rack so they're out of the way. And I just want to sand that little bead up before I take it off the lathe. Watch those jaws with your fingers there. There we go. Now we got a icicle ornament with a bead. Back off the tail center. Then we can just give it a little twist and it'll come off, and this will sand up really easy and quick. So there's the first one right there. So if you paint this green, it looks nice like I showed you. And this one, if I paint it red, it just kind of, you know, green and red with Christmas, it just sets it off. Or you could just put a spray finish or a whack, you know, oil it. And they come out really nice looking when you get them all done like that.
Good job there, Scott.
Thank you. So let's move on to an ornate. One of these guys here, what I call ornate spindles or ornaments. So I'll do the overhead there so you guys have a better look. These are always fun and interesting. You can make them all different kinds of shapes. I always like to leave like a bauble in the middle just to give it a little balance instead of just one long, skinny piece of wood. And you can either make the top short, you can move the bauble up closer to the top and make this area longer. You can make a flame at the bottom instead of a bead. There's all onion shape, all kinds of different. Here's one with the onion shape here with the flame on the bottom. Just like that. So there's ample opportunities to create these type of icicle ornaments. So let's put this one in. I can turn this without really tailstock support. If I can, I prefer to turn these kind of spindles without the tailstock. It makes it easier to work with. But I'm going to bring up my tailstock just see how out of balance it is here. I need to tighten it up a little bit more before I adjust the centering of it. So just need to give it a couple of taps. Almost there. It's going to need to be trued up no matter what you do, but it's best to get it as close as you can. And then we just tighten it way down here. There we go. This is a lot of thin wood turning, and you gotta sometimes be careful with that. See how, turn on the lasso just to see if we're centered pretty well. Centered for this kind of wood in just a dowel from the hardware store, that's pretty good right there. So I'm changing my tool rest back up. One in like this. And we'll just gently true this up. Just double check the tightness. You want to really crank it down when you got a piece overhanging your chuck this far. And small roughing out gouge again. And we'll turn it up.
Okay.
All right, so I'm about 2,200 RPMs again. I'm just kind of just gently take it easy because it is unsupported. Now I'm just going to start narrowing this bottom area here because a lot of wood's got to come off. So just use the roughing gouge. I'm going to bring up the tailstock after all. This one doesn't like to stay in the lathe and it rolled under my workbench. So just give me real quick. I have got some long handled, these little guys that can grab anything. Where did you go? There you are. All right. So I'll bring up the tailstock. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. But I'd rather be safe and have not pop out again when I'm roughing it down. So I'm just gonna, it's got marks. Oh, everything's falling. Yeah. Yo. Yeah, it's been a while since I found one of these online. Stream Deck just fell on the ground here. So let me pick that up real quick. Put it right here so it's out of the way. There we go. That's good. All right, so it's out of balance again, but I do have I did center it in case I did want to use the tail center. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to extend it so because of the chuck or the tool rest is kind of long. Find that center hole. Let's see if I got it. There it goes. So it's running really true again, but I'm just going to do a quick assessment here and get my.
You need to move your.
Don't forget to change the camera.
You need to move your camera.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you. There we go. So I'm just making sure it's balanced again because I brought the tailstock up. This is going to help it from, of course, prevent it from coming out of the chuck again. But I'm getting the general shape of what I want. That needed to come down a little bit. I'm just going to come opposite way here, take some of that down. So I'm going to stop right there because I want to put a little bit of put a cove right here just because I took that. This is going to have to go away anyway. So this is going to be the cove. This is where the bobble will be. Then a little bit of another finial on top of the bobble there. Well, that's good for the roughing gouge. I'm going to grab me my spindle gouge here and just finish taking it down. First, I want to create a flame on the bottom, but I got to remember that that's going to be waste wood right there. So I'm just going to create a V cut right here. And I'm just going to generally shape this down. I want to leave that there for right now. Just get that flame started. It's a little too big, but I need to remove some of this first. So I like to make these kind of skinny. I need to take this down, do another V cut. And I come up about a third with this part of the curve. And then I'll come back the other way. I'm going to create a V cut right here first, so I know where to stop. This is just wasting wood away, getting it thin. Then one long cut. I don't really like to try to leave anything straight on these pieces. I like to have a continuous curve right through here. I'm just going to take it a little bit thinner. Clean that up. A little bit of a bump right in the middle there, so I want to get rid of that. All right, so now I'm just going to turn my tool at 90 degrees and just kind of dive in right there. Come back the opposite way to clean that little bit up. Then use the curve of the tip just to create a curve right here coming out of the V cut. And there's a little bit of a bump still right here, so I'm just going to gently take that down. I'm going to grab me some sandpaper and see if that will help. I'm just going to do it at full speed just to straighten everything out. This isn't a finishing sanding. This is just kind of a shaping sanding. Just make sure everything's nice and smooth. When I do my final sanding, I'll slow the lathe down. So right there, I want to create a cove. So I need to get my thin parting tool and just put a part right down here. Wrong way. And then we'll create that cove. I'll go down a little bit more. And now the small parting tool or detail gouge will allow me to get right down in here, clean all this up. All right. So for this kind of a turning, you want to sand as you go. Just to get the rough part out of it done. Then we'll slow things down towards the end. All right, so we need the bobble. Then parting tool again. I want to take this down. And I'll probably get my regular size parting tool and just kind of open this up a little bit so it'll give me a little more working room. This is all going to be waste wood anyway, so I'm just going to take it down and I get it out of the way there. So this is essentially just a large bead. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get the bevel rubbing, then I'm going to lift the handle, do a twist, and turn the handle away from me at the same time. That's too big of a bobble that I want, so I'm just going to take some of this wood off. I'm going to do that one more time. Down in there. Okay, so what you want to do to create that little high spot, it looks like the two pieces of wood are holding the bobble in the middle. So you just start turning that bead and get the cut going, and you twist the tool a little bit faster, and you just a little bit too much there, so I'm going to take it down. And we're going to do the same thing on this side, and we'll come back and clean that up with the smaller detail gouge. Get this bobble round here. There's a flat spot right on top of this, so I want to get rid of that, get that general shape going first. Probably do one more here, so we're just going to do the same thing. We're just going to stop short, just like that. And then we're just going to adjust how the bobble shape is looking. It's a little, not too round right here. So I need to just bring this further down inside there. It's a little high in this area, so I'm just going to adjust that. And then I'm just going to start removing some of this wood so I can get it a little more closer to what I want to do here. All right, so little detail gouge again. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to clean up these little cuts that I made. And round this over to that V cut. And I need to change my glasses. They're getting kind of foggy on me, and I'm not sure where, there they are. That's better. See a little bit better now. I'm just going to clean this cut up. And I'm just going to narrow this down a little bit because it's too big. There we go. Right down into that spot there. Come back this way, 90 degrees. That looks pretty good. Now I just want to clean up this high spot on the bobble. And now I'm just going to take it down. Create a V cut right here. It's a little high spot right outside this section, so I want to get rid of that. Come back, clean that up. Now I'm just going to stop the lathe and see if there's any tear out along here. See how smooth and crisp it is. So I need a little bit tear and a little deeper right here because they don't match quite. So I need to go a little bit deeper with this section here. Tool's at 90 degrees. The flute is towards the piece of wood. Now I just need to thin this down a little bit. And I'm just gonna clean up that shape a little bit more. Now I'm just looking at the horizon right here to see if these two match, and they pretty much do. So I just want to clean this up a little bit more. This tool isn't doing a really good job, so I'm actually going to use a bigger tool to clean that up. I'm going to bring in my 1/2-inch detail gouge. It's a very shallow flute, so it cuts down on vibration and it makes really fine cuts. Even for its size. And you can see how easy this tool is, easy to maneuver. I'm just gonna go a little bit deeper there. Cut this in a little bit more. All right, and there's a high spot right in here. And all right, so I'm just going to cut a little bit deeper into this way. Get those two to match up a little bit deeper. There we go. That looks good. Get a cleanup cut there. The sanding will take care of the rest of that spindle work. So I'm just going to take a lot of this down while I got the big tool in place. Oop, the wing caught right there. I need to just take a lot of this away. Swallow it down. There we go. I'm just going to create a cove on the top. And then the eye hook will just go in the top of this cove. I need to use my smaller spindle gouge to get that curve right. That tool is a little too heavy to do that. If there's any questions, put them in the chat or yell them out. I think Dane or somebody can let me know if there's questions in the chat.
Correct.
Go. Sandpaper time. That's where I'm going to stop for right now, and then I'm going to take the tailstock away and clean up that bottom flame there. I can speed up the lathe a little bit more. This is going to be the final sanding in these areas. So I slowed down the lathe. switch paper here. So it's getting a little worn. I go through sandpaper like crazy sometimes. It's just, I always like to have fresh sandpaper in my hand. I don't try to push it because it leaves ungodly scratches in your wood if you're trying to use worn sandpaper. Get rid of any tool lines you might see in the piece. Kind of adjust the shape a little bit. There's a high spot, you can take it down with the paper. That's looking pretty good. Need to turn the paper a little bit there to get in this area. And that was leaving lines. I don't know why. Be a deep tool mark there. I'll have to stop the lathe and look. Sand that cove up. I curl in the paper over. I fold it into threes and then I curl it over and it gets right down into these coves like that. I'm just gonna check something because there's some, might be just the dust creating lines in the wood. Yeah, that's what it looks like it was. No, there's a line right there in the wood. I'm just gonna sand it a little bit better. Sanding's an important part of making these small things because any flaw from your tools that can show up, it's like, they stand out on little pieces like this. You can't hide them as much just like you could on a bowl or something. I'm just gonna sand this little cove one more time. There we go. So now what I want to do is take the tailstock away, create that flame. So I'm just going to gently take it away while the lathe is running. Okay, so it's going to wobble on me a little bit. That's not a good sign. So I got to support it with my hand again. So I'm just going to bring this back up, take as much of that away as I can with this small spindle gouge here. Gently bring your tool in against near that center. Some of this wood's going to be wasted away because there is a hole in there. From the tail center. So you don't want to leave that in there. Sometimes that hole makes it difficult to create a nice point on the end. So I can probably take it all the way down until it cuts through. Oh, there it went. So now I can just sand it. Grab it with my hand there, clean that up. Clean up that point. Now we'll part it off. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm just gonna double check the sanding right next to it there just to make sure if I hit it with my tool, it didn't leave a mark. Grab me a piece of paper towel and rub off the sanding dust just to see how it looks without that dust all over it. Right. So now what we can do is I'm gonna burn lines into these little joints real quick. How are we on time, Dane?
You're doing well.
Where are we? Oh, 6 o'clock. Okay, we're at 6 o'clock. That's not bad at all. I got time to make the snowman, I think.
Yes,
All right, so I'm going to burn some lines and all right. Grab me my wire burning. No, what drawer did I put them in here? There they are. So because it's so narrow, you got to turn up the lathe really kind of fast to get any kind of a burn mark off the wire. And don't worry about that wobble. It's not going to hurt anything. Just be gentle with the wire. Don't apply a bunch of force. What I do is I just stretch it straight. I don't wrap it around. You just kind of set it in there. And you can look to the side until you see a burn mark show up. I might need to change to a more narrow wire. So that one's not doing it too well. You don't want to go too thin or it'll actually cut the wood. There we go. This should take a, come on. I can smell it burning, but it's not leaving a dark enough mark. There it goes. I can see the smoke. All right, we got that one. That's the most difficult one on a piece like this. Come on, burn, 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 burn. There it goes. I'm gonna grab that other bigger one because these joints are wide enough to handle that. It'll burn faster. This just makes the joints pop out when you put a finish on it. There we go. Now after burning, I'm gonna grab me a Scotch-Brite, a white one. And this just helps polish the wood up. Get these in the paint department at Lowe's or Home Depot. And this just helps give it a burnishment on the wood. Also helps to remove any like burn residue that might have been left behind by the wire. There we go. I'm going to apply a high gloss wax to this in a second. I want to use it on while the lathe is on, or the piece is on the lathe. It only takes a second, and I find it nicer than trying to just spray it. Kind of like using the wax. So what I've got here is I've got Hampshire Sheen high gloss paste wax. And this stuff really does shine up a piece of wood. So you just want to grab a clean piece of paper towel. You're going to need a few of these because one's going to be for, a couple of them are going to be for buffing. One's going to be for applying. So I'm just going to rip a couple here and fold them up into fourths. There we go. It's like fold them up like this so you got a good pad, especially when you're buffing it. So it doesn't take much wax on a piece like this, and you just want to rub it through. Make sure you get it down in those joints. You don't want it really thick, but you can use a toothpick to get it out if you need to, if it gets down too much of a blob down in there. Need a little bit more wax. So I just start with a small amount and just add more to the paper towel as I go. That way it doesn't get all gloppy on the piece. And this dries really fast, so you can keep on going and buff it up. And the buffing will spread the wax out too, so. Right. Just get some down in there. Looks like. Paper towel's kind of coming apart, but the buffing will get rid of that. Put the other one there. All right, so it looks like it feels dry. Just gonna put a little bit more right there on this long section here. So that's what's really gonna stand out when we polish this up. Same with the bobble. Doesn't hurt to add a little extra. And after I will clean up the lines. Probably using a toothpick. Got to get the bottom there. All right. So
Hey,
it just takes a second for it to dry up. Yeah?
Dane, this is Eddie. No, I just want to give Dane a warning. Be careful what you say, because safety sues in the house.
I love the fact that he has no gloves on. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I usually do. When I'm turning big stuff, I do. I wear a leather glove like this. It's not cloth. There's no cloth on it whatsoever. And I took classes with David Ellsworth, and he always wears a glove. And what happens when I'm turning a bowl and a lot of shavings are coming off, it abrades my skin right here. It'll actually open up a sore. I guess my skin's just kind of sensitive right there. So that's why I wear a glove when I'm doing that.
I know sometimes when you get a lot of shades, it actually burns. So, but
yeah. But for me, it actually creates a sore. It opens up and starts bleeding, and it's just terrible. Otherwise, I wouldn't wear one. So I'm just folding that up. I got the blade turned up quite high because you want to buff this wax, get it to shine up. I just do the end there, and we're just going to work our way down. Looks like I'm not sure the wax held on the end there, but we'll see. And it gives it a nice sheen. Sometimes you got to apply a couple extra coats to get a really high gloss shine on it, but I'm not going to do that right now. But you'll see what a difference this makes to this, just even this wood. So I got a lot of wax right in this little section here. So I'm just going to fold my paper towel really narrow and get them down and get that little extra wax out of those lines where it's built up. It looks like I got it all, except the bottom doesn't look right. It might just because it's shaking around, but yeah, there's still a little bit of wax down there in that hole. So I'm just gonna kind of pinch the paper towel and get it down in there. And I'm gonna stop and check this one because it had a lot of wax in it too. That looks pretty good. So a couple more applications of that wax and this thing would just shine up like crazy. So let's get this parted off. I'm gonna use my small detail gouge to work my way into this area right here. Just heard a noise in my shop behind my lathe. I have a neighborhood cat that likes to come into my shop with me, and she'll just lay there and watch me wood turn. Then when I'm done for the night, she just goes home. Her owners are 2 doors down from me.
Well, it doesn't cost you any cat food.
Or litter.
I think
Well,
So
the
I'm just
litter
going
is
to
already
hand sand this very top when I get this parted off here. So what I want to do is just get this as narrow as I can and as deep as I can here. Then I'm just going to come in with my thin pull saw and just kind of cut this gently off. That's as far as I want. I want a little space on the top there for the eye hook to go in. So that's why I use the saw. It kind of creates a little spot where that eye hook can rest in there. So just gently take it off. Hold it steady so the saw curve stays even. And there we go. Onto the floor, of course. So this part I would just sand. I like to take my disc sander and stick it in my pin jaws like this. And that would just clean that up really fast. So,
Hey,
so there's
Scott,
an ornate.
Hey, Scott, I misspoke about the longevity for continuing on. I don't think we're going to have time for the snowman. It looks like we're bumping up against the schedule here.
Okay. All right.
But finish up with this one right here. We won't be able to do the snowman though.
Okay. Well, let me put that sander in here real quick. I'll just show you. It's not a big thing here. Oh, I just had that in there. You are.
Sorry, I misspoke. I didn't realize the time.
That's all right. I know Eddie has a lot of pictures he wanted to show, and that's why I was asking about the time. He's got
I don't have any pictures
to show. So.
I don't have any pictures. We have a ton of people that still want to show their birdhouses.
Well, they need to put it in the chat.
Put it in the chat, folks. We're looking for your birdhouses.
So it's just as easy as doing this. And you just bring it up, true it up. And then kind of soften that corner. And I ease it up, and then I'll finish doing the hand sanding. And then I'll take a pin vise and just drill a hole in there. If you're not familiar with a pin vise, it's just one of these that has very small drill bits, and you just drill a small hole in there, and I put a screw eye in there for hanging. So just like that. I'm not going to do that right now because we're short on time, but maybe I can do the snowman next month or something. It's up to you guys.
Sure, we can do that. Snowman might be better in time.
In seeing that, I can. Yeah. Well, if you guys are interested in seeing that, maybe a couple others, I can do that later on next summer or next month if you want.
Yeah, we can do the 21st. How about that?
That'll work. I'll be here. I'm not.
Scott, could you just hold up the snowman and show it what's look like?
Oh, sure. This one isn't my best one, but this was just a demo one I did a while back. But this is
cool.
The snowman.
I like the tilted.
This is a real long one.
I like it.
Yeah, this is a real long one.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, it's a walnut hat and poplar body. So
beautiful.
Yeah, I like making these too. So I'll show you guys next month how to make one of these guys.
That'll work, Scott. I'll get with you tomorrow, next day.
All right.
Okay. Next day.
All right. Sounds
Tomorrow's
good. Hope you guys enjoyed the demo.
We did. Release did.
Yeah,
Thank you,
very good.
Scott.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Oh,
Thank
very
you.
good. You're quite welcome. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's birdhouses. So
good. All right.
That's what I want to see.
So did anybody have any questions about the demo or any processes that were done?
I guess
I don't. I kind of like. I like the way it worked out. I really did.
It looked great.
All right.
That'll work. Thank you, Scott. I really appreciate it, buddy.
All right. All right, let's see some more birdhouses.
Let's go to birdhouses. Let's go to James DeBro. Hey, James.
Being quiet, James. You're being quiet.
Okay, how about now?
Now you're all right.
Okay, I don't have a birdhouse. Didn't get a chance to do that.
You can still show off your stuff.
Okay, but I did this week.
That's nice.
That is
nice.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Great job.
First attempt at doing any
Yeah,
biography. I didn't burn myself, didn't set the shop on fire.
Ouch. But it looks
really.
wonderful.
All in the name of art.
That's right.
That's right. That's right, Dave.
Exactly. So it's just something different.
Yeah,
that's all I've got.
Really clever.
Show the inside.
Really nice.
Show the inside of it.
Very nice.
Did a great job. Very nice.
Good job, James.
Thank you, sir. Thank y'all.
Very good. All right, let's go. Bob Grinstad, you're the lucky number contestant to come on down.
Okay, all right. Hey guys, everybody there tonight?
Got you.
Yeah, I did a get this string back on here again. Keeps falling off. Anyway, there is my birdhouse.
Oh, beautiful, Bob.
Running around
That's
here
nice, Bob.
Very nice.
Thanks. He's a little small for all these birds I keep finding, but anyway, maybe a little bird will get in there.
There you go.
Yeah,
I like it.
well, good. I do have one other piece here. I'm still playing with that.
Oh no, you can't show it.
Okay, I won't show it.
Bring that thing back.
Yeah,
That
there's
is
that. There's that Sonia. So Johnny.
That is beautiful.
Joe
Wow, I
Sonia.
love that color
Hey.
combination.
Yeah. Still playing, that one right there. I didn't think I'd like it at first, but after it's finished, it looks pretty good. So.
What did you
finish
finish?
on it, Bob?
Do what now?
What's your finish?
It's that Krylar clear.
Oh, okay. Lacquer?
No, it's not lacquer. It's a Krylar clear. It's more of a plastic based stuff. But it dries super fast and hard. It's not like lacquer where it's still sticky, a week or two later.
It's beautiful.
Right on.
What colors did you use on your rim?
I actually used every one of them. I started off with the darker ones first, like the reds and some of those that don't show up too well. And the last ones were the violet and the gold and a green, I think.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. I love it.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I think it turned out good.
Let me send you my address.
Yeah.
You probably get
right on. Appreciate it.
It's beautiful.
All right. Well, thanks. But that's it.
All right. Let's go to Roger. Hey, Roger.
Yeah, how's it going tonight?
Not bad.
We're doing good.
Okay, I showed this last week.
Yeah.
But not everybody was here, but here was my attempt at the birdhouse.
It's
Very
beautiful.
Nice.
That's pretty.
Good job.
Okay.
It's
Very
great.
nice. Loved it.
Used up one of my pieces of wood that I showed you guys earlier, so.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
it's always a
How did
bonus.
you come
when
up with
you're
that
able to-
pattern?
Huh?
It's a bird barrel.
How did you come up with that pattern?
Yeah. All right, let's go to Glenn.
Wait. Bob Moffett wanted to know how he came up with the pattern.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on, Glenn.
Okay.
All I do is when I chuck the piece up, when I glue it all up, it's straight. And when I chuck it up, I offset it. This one was about an inch offset on each side. So, and that gives you a little bit of a pattern to it. So
it's a
I
cool
like
looking
those
pattern.
snowmen behind you too.
Huh?
I like your snowmen on your shelf there too.
Only one of those are mine. The
Which
rest of them
one?
are clay.
Which one's yours? The first one with the wood? Yeah.
This one.
Beautiful. Look at that.
Wow.
That gorgeous. How
that
long
last week
Oh
too.
my gosh.
did it take you to make that?
You got more patience than I do.
I actually
Exactly.
did
How
this.
many bazillion pieces is that?
There's over 2,000 pieces.
Good golly.
Oh my gosh! But that's absolutely beautiful.
I did that in a segmented class, and the instructor said, "No, you can't do that. It's too much work." I said, "I'll do it. So why not?"
Oh man, you did a beautiful job.
Yeah, nice job.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Let's bounce back to, was that Glenn?
Yeah.
Here I am. How y'all doing today?
Doing good.
Doing good.
Marvelous.
Well, I've got a few birdhouses here to show. This one here is out of cedar and a walnut top on this
Beautiful.
one. And then I have another one here.
Like where you put the door.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked better than any of the other sides. So
yeah,
that works.
And then this one is a piece of I believe it's maple and I think it's mahogany, and I cut it in two to make the roof and the house, and then out of the same piece of wood I turned the finial. I believe it's a mahogany.
Yeah, it looks great, Glenn.
Neat idea. And pardon?
Great idea. Neat idea.
Then I think last week or week before I had shown this one that I had done. This one's out of maple and it has a mesquite top, and I did some using the spiral texturing tool on this one. This one's just a single house, and then I decided to make a two-story one. And
get the color in.
It's two pieces, and the bottom one I drilled a hole, and then the top one I turned a tenon on it to fit inside, and then I did some texturing on top, a little bit of white embellishing paste, and just used some red leather dye and some yellow dye, and just use a paper towel and kind of just blended them in together.
Oh my gosh, great.
That's really pretty.
You've incorporated all sorts of creatures.
Outstanding.
Main features. And then I've got about 25 more of the birdhouses out in my shop I'm working on for Christmas gifts. So.
Oh my goodness.
Mercy.
That's all I got.
Been busy. All right.
Yes.
All right, let's go to Steven's iPad. Steven.
Hello, here I am.
Gotcha.
Got me? It's my first attempt at a birdhouse.
Yeah, look at that little birdie.
Oh, I like
it's
that.
A big
That's
one.
neat.
It's beautiful.
It's cherry for the body, and I believe this is honey locust for the finial, and I think this could be Osage orange for the roof.
Beautiful.
And my wife put a cardinal on it.
I like it.
Looks
nice,
good.
Nice porch birdhouse.
Yeah, I like that. That's nice.
Yeah, it's got a turned perch, but I guess the birds kind of sitting on the gate.
Beautiful.
I like that natural edge on the roof too.
Yeah. It looks wonderful.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
nice job, Stephen.
A little big.
Oh, no worries. It fits the cardinal there.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
All right, you too, Stephen.
Yeah.
You too. God bless.
Thanksgiving.
You also.
All right. Well, with that, let's go to this character. Hey, Joaquin.
Hey.
How you doing?
All right. I'm doing fine. We've been missing you. Glad you're back, bud.
Yeah, thank you.
And this is one of the hummingbird houses. A paint job on it.
Oh, that's cool.
All right.
What kind of paint is that?
It's just yellow, translucent yellow and white with the airbrush, just blowing it on, mix it up.
Oh, okay.
Putting it around. This is embellishing cream on top and bottom. And so
that's nice.
Then I finally got down to doing the little miniatures here. And this is just a little plain Jane thing here.
Plain Janes are beautiful.
Plain Jane, I like that.
But,
I don't think they're plain
good
Jane.
there. Yeah, the wood gives it its look, huh?
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah. So then I started doing did a little spiraling on this one here.
There you go.
I like that. That's beautiful.
I think y'all seen this one here. It's a segmented piece. Actually, it's an old Easter egg that blew up on me. I did some segmented Easter eggs for the kids, and it was left over, and decided to do a birdhouse out of it.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Joaquin, guys,
repurpose it.
The segmenting that you do, Joaquin, was no matter what you do, absolutely fantastic.
So, Safety Sue, you might want everybody to get their sunglasses on for this one.
Okay. I love that.
You're showing off now.
This is a sixplex. And this was an Easter egg. It's got the divisions, it was veneer in between 6 of them. And it is divided up. It has 1/16 inch mahogany soundproof walls and each for there.
Does it have carpet inside?
You have to pay attention to this.
Carpet inside?
Sure.
Are those the miniature martins?
Wall to wall, right?
Or what?
Do what?
Little birds, martin birds. Are they?
Yeah, martin bird.
Yeah. There you go.
That's imitation gold leaf on the roof, copper.
Oh my gosh!
I just wanted to shoot for something different since we had this challenge going.
Right.
It's beautiful. It's
Great
beautiful.
job, Joaquin.
Thank you. And so I wanted to even go further. I had the privilege of meeting Rebecca DeRoot about 3 years ago and been on a couple of her retreats and worked with her. And she introduced me to skateboard material.
Love it.
And so I glued a bunch of skateboard material together and did this one. And I had a guy, did you plan to do that face on there? Well, yeah, I plan to do that face on there like that.
Of course. That's
Good.
right.
It's perfect.
Did you get you a new skateboard to ride?
No, I wouldn't even know how to ride a skateboard.
And hurt himself. Yeah.
That's what I got, guys.
Joaquin, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you were busy.
It's been fun. Thanks for the challenge, Bob. Eddie.
You certainly rose to it.
Turners, this was kind of thrown together on a whim. Birdhouse Bob Moffett, has done some awesome work and shown this to us. And we've always had a member saying, look, by what Bob showed us, this is what I did. By what Bob showed us, this is what I did. Bob showed us this is what I did. So we figured we'd jump on board and have a little birdhouse challenge. And I tell you what, it has been fantastic. I've got tons of photographs. And if you haven't sent me photographs of your work, do so, because I'm going to produce a promo for the club that'll include all these photographs of the birdhouses. It's better with your photographs than my screen grabs, because I really can't edit out, really. What else? Just see Joaquin. We want to see his work. We don't want to see Joaquin.
You're so bad.
Sorry. So if you'd send me photographs, we'll use it. That's to worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. That's where you send the photographs. And I'll forward them on to Dave, our webmaster. But this was a fun challenge. We didn't have a contest. This was a chance for everyone to show what they thought would be a great looking birdhouse. I'm looking to come up with a next challenge. This is so great. I want to see what you come up with. Really. And
Hey,
just not
Cap.
birdhouses. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Capit Sue. I wanted to ask Bob Moffett. I went and I tried a roof with the Spectra ply, but the pieces of Spectra ply I had was 1.5 by 3. And I tried 2 pieces and they both blew up. So I was going to ask him, what is the secret?
Bob, talk to us. I'll drop out. You go in.
I'm right here. I just turned the Spectra ply the same way as I did the other. You got to be a real light touch with your tool.
Well, I thought I was being light, but who knows? My pieces were only 1.5 by 3 instead of the 2 by 4.
Okay.
So could that be part of it?
That
I was
could
going to
be
a little tiny birdhouse.
Well, that would just make your roof smaller.
Yeah, but it blew up a couple times.
Well, if you don't like that Spectra ply, I'll give you my address. You can just send it all to me.
Yeah, I got several pieces. I'm figuring that if it doesn't work with the birdhouse, I will do other things. But yeah, I just wondered if there was a secret the way you turned it.
No, I just turned it like I did the other. I just used a real light cut.
What size did you use?
And when I turn them, I turn them fast too, because you're turning mostly air.
So what size did you use?
I used
the material.
I used the 2-inch and I cut it 4 inches long.
Okay, well, mine was only 1.5 by 3, and it just wouldn't do it. It was blowing up on me. And I was going to make
that should still work.
Little teeny, but yeah, when I was turning it around to order to make the roof, it was just peeling off the sides. You know, the layers were just peeling off the sides. So I just
been bad Spectra fly.
It could be, but
because the size shouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, it was just peeling off on me.
Sue, you might try giving it a good coat of CA before you do that second turn.
No, that's a good idea, Doug. That's a good idea.
That's a good thought.
Yeah.
That would harden it. But,
well, next time I'll try.
But you can just mail your Spectra ply to me and I'll see if I can do something with it.
I tried to do the roof like you did. I watched your demonstration 4 times. I loved your demonstration.
Well, thank you.
But it kept blowing apart. So I thought, well, I'd ask and find out what size I really should get. And the 2 by 4 makes more sense than 1.5 by 3.
Maybe when I get some more Spectra ply, after I guess I don't have any right now, but if I could get some, I could do a demonstration of just doing the roof or sometime one with Spectra ply.
That would be wonderful. That sounds
great.
Wait till I get some, until I get some more.
Send Bob some Spectra fly and we can get a demo on it.
Well, if I had that size, I would not even think about it, send him some, but I don't. I have the 1.5 by 3.
Well, no, that's what I mean. Send him some 1.5 by 3 and he'll do a demo on it.
I could do that. I could do
Bob
that.
could do that.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah. I can schedule that. I'm telling you right now.
All right. I'll send it to you. Don't tell him when you have it so that you got a couple of months to schedule.
Hey, that's not right.
Hey,
the way everybody is stepping up in this group for demos, I've only got about 3 weeks. What are you talking about? A couple months?
Okay, well, I was trying to give them a break, guys.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm trying to get everybody a break, but it just ain't working out that way.
Well, Bob, I'll try you. I'll try giving you a break. Let me know when you.
Don't get me started lying. I ain't.
Okay. If you ever call me, leave a message because my phone won't recognize phone numbers that have never called me before.
I haven't called you.
Okay.
Because you already told me on here you can't.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate the input.
I loved your demo.
Well, thank you.
Like I watched it about 4 times trying to figure it out. But yeah.
Now you see, Tom Rooney just asked in the chat, will Bob's demo be posted?
Yes.
Tom, we've got the world's greatest website dealing with wood turning. The world's greatest. There's no question about it.
It's
and
already posted.
Our master webmaster throws it up almost immediately. So it's there. All of our demos, all of our meetings are posted. But then our master webmaster breaks out the demos and posts them separately. So if you want to be looking for one, there it is. And if you can't find it on our website, there's a contact section. Put in there what you're looking for, and Dave will email you back and tell you where it's at. It's that great. And all you folks talking about shared mailing addresses and all that, I'm right on top of the soapbox. We have what is called the contact list, and it is 100% voluntary. If you're a member of this group, you're eligible to do it. And all you have to do is put the information you, and only you, wish to have in your contact. Put your name, address, but whatever you want. No restrictions. Put all that stuff in your contact, and then put it in a chat, in our chat. Just put contact list, put Dane Chandler, Tucson, Arizona, your email, whatever you want, put it in there, and we will use it. Now, how do you get that list? All right. The other part is we have it compiled into a PDF, and it's accessible to you only by going to our contact page, and you'll see a little block up there on the top corner that says member list. Click on it and fill it out exactly as it asks. But then it's going to come the subject, and the subject is Captain, capital C, APTAIN. That's that's the password. And there's a thing where you unclick that box, and then within moments you'll get your own copy, and it will be updated to the most recent information we've received. And this is a way we can share our stuff without sharing with all the iBots in the world. Because all the iBots in the world, well, maybe so. Wait, but change it, because they're all sending me so much damn stuff on. I'd like to give your information out because it's ridiculous. But that's our contact list. And if you have an event coming up, we also have an event section on our website. You see, Dave works at this. He really does. He's a volunteer, just like all the other folks that work for this club and do things for this club. He's a volunteer. He loves this. And when he has a second to develop something, he develops it. If it's good for wood turning, it's good for us. And Dave does that. We do really, no bull, have the world's greatest website dealing with wood turning by far. So if you need help, you want to be there, be there. If you want to volunteer, volunteer. I often talk about co-hosts, and co-hosts are just members. And I'm going to pop over here to look at this. I have Dave Rhodes, our webmaster, Dean Grimes, Doug Miller, Scott Hampton, and a few others listed out as co-hosts tonight. They're not anything more than special members because they've offered to help operate your club, and it's your club. So if you want to be part of that, just let us know. We need people to handle gallery, demonstrations, all kinds of things, and you can help us with that. So, and I have to say it every time we talk, it's your club. And I tell you what, this birdhouse thing, you've made my week, really. And I'm looking for suggestions for the next challenge. Got a suggestion? You can throw it in chat, or you can email me at worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. Or I was about to say, give me a call, but I'm anti-telephone right now. But we'd like to hear from you and help you out. We're going to go back to gallery if Dane has got anybody else lined up to show us what they've done tonight.
That's a negative at the moment.
At the moment? You mean it's wide open? We got room for Doug Miller and everybody?
Yep, that's right.
I got something.
Who's that?
Howard King.
Keep talking, Howard. I'll highlight you here.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta show my birdhouse.
Very nice. I love the roof.
It's just a limb, sweet gum limb, and I turned a little finial out of the limb and drilled a hole down through it. And then this is a maple roof to it and put a hole in it. If you do this, something like this, you have to put a close clamp here, hose clamp when you reverse it to
hold it up
to do the finial on it. So anyway,
it's beautiful.
I like that. Got a terrace roof, huh?
Yep.
You can put some lawn chairs up on those levels of that terrace.
Yeah, I got something else. One of our members of club, he kind of retired and sold all his woodworking stuff and sold his wood and stuff. And I bought a piece of mesquite from him. It's a crosscut of a mesquite tree, and it's about 3 inches thick and had cracks all in it, and bug hose and worm hose. And he just poured dyed epoxy all over it, and had the back of it totally full with epoxy, and it was a devil trying to cut through that stuff. This is the back of it, and it's the front of it. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mesquite's pretty, isn't it?
That's nice.
Great, man. Very nice.
This center of the tree is filled with his epoxy that he had tried to pour in there, and that's about the best I could do with all the. But I got it kind of thin. It's a plaque, so
yeah, looks good.
But I really like the figure.
Color, yeah.
The sapwood and the cambium on mesquite is
beautiful.
The ratio between it and the dark wood is just out of the world.
Right. Yeah.
It's our walnut that we have down there. That's what we call our walnut.
Yeah. Well, I like it. It's a beautiful wood.
Yeah, it is.
Very nice.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Really?
Yeah.
Hi, guys. Well, I've lost my picture.
Do you want to log off and log back on again? See if we can hear you again, Brenda.
All right.
We love you. Don't go away. Hey,
we saw her.
There she is.
Yeah, you're good now.
No, I can't see you.
Well, we can see you.
Well, you were looking at Dean, so you weren't missing anything.
Oh, hi, Dane.
Hey, Dane.
Hey, you.
Hey, Brenda.
Can you see me now? Looky here. Look at my kitty. Look at this.
Oh, no.
You see my little kitty?
All right, we got to look at wood turning.
This one's in front of me.
That's a shop cat.
I know. It's a shop cat. It's a shop cat in training. All right, let's go to Terry. Hey, Terry.
Okay. You got me?
We had to do away with the cute and cuddly, and we had to span the years. So you're up.
I've never been called.
I know it's
cuddly,
tough.
That's
a
sure.
tough act to follow.
Oh.
There we go. There's a little bit of mesquite right there.
I found out these earrings are good for a lot of things. Thinking about making one about 3 tiers high to hang ornaments on.
There you go.
Some of these are older ones. I got the other rack set up over there. Those are new ones there in the front. No, maybe not. That one is, but just a stick that I found out in the yard. And that one's that's the duplex one there that I showed before. It's got 2 houses on it, one on each side. But anyway, those are most of those are a little older than this one. These are ones that I did this week. There's some mesquite and.
Well, you've been busy.
And,
oh, that's beautiful. It looks
those are
wonderful.
More of the ones out of that stick, and those are some of the mesquite. I got one. I actually made a finial on one, but I don't see it. Oh, it's on the other rack. Most of these finials are just attached. Huh?
Wait, let me look at the little teeny ones you did. Those are amazing.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Where are you? The little bitty one?
Right there.
The little bitty ones. Those are amazing.
I did a whole bunch of those little ornaments. I got probably about 50 of the little tiny ornaments that I made. I was trying to look and see what I had in there, but I don't know if you can see much of that. But those are, whoops, man, I got one less. Those are
a great job on all of them.
The little bells, and that's like 1.5 inches tall. And then I got some little bitty snowmen.
Oh my goodness.
You can see how big it is inside of my finger.
Yeah.
Real nice. That's cute.
And I got a bigger snowman.
Oh, it's not too much bigger. It's gorgeous.
Another nice one.
Way. This is one of the birdhouses that I made this week out of that stick that I showed on the other one. And I did a little work on I don't know about that roofer. I think he might have had a few too many beers. You might have to hire a different roofer. He got that pretty crooked.
Maybe you need to have a few more beers.
I showed this one.
I can identify with that, so it's okay.
I showed this one a couple of weeks ago. I think this is my snowbird house.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Look at the little chair you got and the little table.
Got a little chair and a little table, umbrella. And,
that's amazing. Absolutely wonderful, Gary.
It's a snowbird con. Next week they'll be coming in here in a convoy.
Yeah, they will.
There'll be travel trailers everywhere. They come after Thanksgiving, and they come a lot.
It's gorgeous.
I think Aransas County has got like 100 RV parks. Our population goes to 5 times what its summer population is.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
I did a while back.
I like that. Now, what kind of wood is that, Terry?
The top and the bottom are walnut. I have no idea what the middle is. Probably maple. I was living in Memphis at the time. We got a lot of maple and a lot of
gorgeous
light wood up there. I didn't know how lucky I was with the wood that we had in Memphis because we had everything.
It's beautiful.
Every time we had a meeting, once a month, I'd leave the house an hour early and show up at the meeting with a whole truckload of nice wood. It was easy to come by. That's pretty much all I have. I did want to bring up one more point, probably a little preaching and a little hard. Everybody keeps saying, stay out of the line of fire. And I got a good lesson on that this week. I was out of the line of fire. I was where I was supposed to be, but I had a 10-inch hollow form completely explode. I was going to bring it in and show you, but it hit the wall at about 5 different places. It came apart, and I mean came apart. And it had some cracks. I was trying to save it. I had epoxied it, and I got a little catch, and it just went flying. But I was off to the side. One bounced off my big belly, but it didn't hurt anything. But don't do that. Stay out of the line of fire and wear your safety shield. That's all I got.
Indeed. Good piece of advice here, Terry. Thank you.
Now,
all right, let's bounce back to a repeat offender, or at least someone that wants to be a repeat offender. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Terry just brought back a memory. I made small birdhouses. These are earrings.
Oh my God, they're unbelievable.
I forgot about them. I do make and this is the pendant that goes with it.
Oh my goodness.
Where are the teeny little bitty birds?
Yeah. These are fly houses, okay?
They're beautiful. They're
anyway,
absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
We're trying to make it easy that people buy them and I have to make another one. But
yeah, it's a bad problem to have.
Anyway, if I could do a screen share. I also have a bird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is this the same little guy you were showing last week?
Yeah, this is the parrotlet. She's asleep right now. But,
she's beautiful.
She sits on my shoulder and does wood turning. And she's 15 years old now, and she's been doing this for 15 years.
That's
oh my
great.
gosh.
Anyway, that's I showed this other thing. This is her. I modeled this after her. I took a picture. And this part, this is about 1.5 inch square, 2.5 inch square pieces. And half of her's turned on one side and half's turned on the other side.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
You end up with 4 of these. I think it's 2 left and 2 right when you split them apart.
That's awesome.
Anyway, you can do this with all kinds of things, different pictures and things. I forgot what these are. Oh, this is a pine cone. What do they call these?
Hedgehog.
Hedgehog. Yeah, hedgehog.
Yes, looks wonderful.
I saw this. I found some pine cones. I just had to try it, but I forget what this is. Oh, these are offset turnings. There's 2 kinds of offsets. This is a crankshaft kind where you offset on the top and bottom. This one here has a center on the bottom, 8 different centers on the top. So each one of these lobes is a center off of the top of this to the center of the bottom of this. And then this one has 8 centers on both ends. So each one of these lobes is parallel. Each one of those is a different center.
Wow. That's wonderful. That's beautiful.
Lots of fun. You turn this to the width of the opening of the test tube in there. So each one is the same size.
It's beautiful, Jim.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Offsetting is a lot of fun, but
wow.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think I'll do many more hedgehogs. I don't know what I can get out of. I can't get out of.
I love all your jigs and what you do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I get a bunch.
I will never be able to do it, but I love everything you show.
I pulled out one the other day. Just the other day, I was cleaning out the shop and I pulled out one. It's pretty neat and it's got holes. It's all finished. It's really nice. And I'll be damned if I know what it does. I don't even know what it does. I have no idea.
We love showing it.
I'll give you a call next week, Jim, and make sure you got my address so you can send it to me.
You
there you go.
I'm sure whatever it does well.
Well, I don't know. If I figure it out, I'll show you her.
Yeah.
But I have no idea. I think it fits on a bandsaw, but anyway. Mostly.
We'll figure it out.
There you go.
Eventually here.
That's it for me.
All right. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks.
All right. Let's go back to the turkey host here.
The turkey host.
It's time.
Right.
Host, my sweetheart. There you go.
Whoa.
Okay. Just tell your wife.
Okay. It's okay, honey. It's okay, honey.
It has nothing to do with your wife. Okay.
Okay.
You're sweet. You're a sweetheart to the rest of us.
Well, I tell you what. We all have problems in our life. We all do. Some are little, some are big, some are unnecessary, but we all have them. But you know the beauty of what we just went through for the last 3 hours? A whole bunch of us climbed up on the tailgate of the truck out in the parking lot. And we talked about wood turning. We lied to each other. We showed our work. We amazed at what the other folks did. We're just having a good time. And you make my week. No matter what happens in a week, you make my week.
And as for Safety Sue, I'm sorry I wasn't here earlier. I had company here, including a cat. But be safe this week, you guys. I love you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. And you make my week, and I give thanks for you all. So be safe this week. We're all in charge of how we're safe in our shops. So I want you to be safe, be diligent, make what you love. And I'll see you next week. Take care, you guys. I love you guys.
Love you too, Sue.
Thank you, Sue.
Sue, we love you too.
And everybody else. So
have a blessed Thanksgiving.
Thank you, guys. And you too.
That's we're a bunch of friends on the tailgate. I love this. I love it. This came to me kind of in a dream, and asked some friends, can it happen? And we all got together and it happened. But I gotta stress this again. It's your club. We had over 90 people in there today. These are all members of the club, and everybody can participate. I mean, we have seen some people demonstrating things or showing things tonight, and they've offered to do demonstrations. We got them on a book in the future. There's always room. We can always double up. So we just look for demonstrations. We're looking for tips and tricks and hidden things and such. As Jim Duxbury just said, he just found a nice looking gizmo he made. He doesn't know what the gizmo does. But hey, you know, that's still, yeah. Go ahead and tell me you don't have anything in your house. Your shop, you can't figure out what to do with. Go ahead, lie to me, because we all have them. I mean,
we all love them, baby.
Yeah, and you know, I lost my shop last year in Hurricane Ida, and moving out, I found things I never thought I never even remembered buying. And now I have a guy. He's doing some handiwork for us, and he's cleaning out. And every once in a while, he says, "What the hell does this do?" I said, "I don't know, but it was important, so I got it." But you know, and you know, Safety Sue said a minute ago, we all have to be our own degree of safety. There is no A, B, C, D's in safety. There's only A plus. Everything underneath that is. My daddy used to tell me you can be one of two things. You can be brave or stupid. Which way do you want to go? If you're brave, you'll be ready and protected. If you're stupid, you just see what happens. We had a seasoned turner tell us a little while ago that his shield saved his mug this week. He did. That was a seasoned turner. You saw another seasoned turner doing a demonstration tonight, and he had his mask on. You've seen demonstrators that, such as tonight, where they wanted to adjust their tool rest height. Turn the machine off, adjust the tool rest height. Turn the machine back on. He had the rheostat turned down. He's increased the speed to where it was. Safety is not an impulse item. And we don't want you hurt. See these 10 things? Need you to come back with them every week. Now, Brenda will loan you some Band-Aids if you need them.
I haven't needed as many lately.
All right, see, we got Band-Aid Brenda off the bandwagon, Band-Aid wagon. All right, but we continually get this information from our members, and we enjoy it. This thing with Birdhouse, the challenge, contest, or demonstration, or whatever we want to call it, was brought to us by Birdhouse Bob. This wasn't his idea. This wasn't his theme or anything else. Bob has shown us some gorgeous work. He demonstrated it just recently, and he showed you some really nifty tips and tricks on how to do these things that you can apply to many, many other turnings. It's not restricted to birdhouses, please. And we won't go restricted. It's just that we see something that happens. We think you would enjoy it. It's going to give you technique, design, opportunities to mold something into your art. And that's why we're here. So on behalf of worldwidewoodturners.org, I got to do it. I got to pull the plug. But first, happy Thanksgiving. Eat a lot, rest a lot, watch the football game, and love your family. I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a
Good night, you guys. I
Have a
love
good
you.
one.
Save your chat.
Thanks for all the good ideas.
And
Good everybody. Have a great week.
And thanks, Scott, for this week.
So, you're welcome.
Have a great Thanksgiving. I love you all. Take care.
Thank you, Sue. Take care. All right, folks, time to fold up the tailgate. Good night. Be safe. Happy Thanksgiving.
See you next week.